Oh, I'm IBX and my long-term survival world is hosted on a realm. As you might know, I call it the Let's Play world, and I've been playing it for a very long time now, and I'm about to hit a very major milestone that I figured I would share with all of you. I am currently on day 6,988. You can verify up there. That is excluding days spent on Xbox 360 and Xbox One Edition Minecraft, but it is days spent since the Bedrock version of the game came out, and it seems as though we're about to hit a major milestone, which I figured would be cool to do together. So let's do it together. Can we do that, Internet? Is everyone willing and enthusiastically willing to join me on this one? Because let's go right into it. So I kind of want to, part of me wants to just start this with some mining of some endstone, but even though this is one of my long, fun projects, I am going to wait, what just happened there? I am going to come back to the overworld, and I'm going to take a nap immediately, because guess what? If you happen to find yourself at nighttime, it's day 6989 now, meaning we're just 11 days away. Super, super exciting. Yeah, by the way, I'm gonna have to, at some point before the end of the stream, you are gonna hear the new music disc, even though it's not on Bedrock. I love it so much, it's in my head on loop, and I'm trying my best not to let that affect the stream chat, but I warn you, it probably will. So now let's take these endstone blocks and let's throw them into this chest. First, we place some blocks down to make sure they go where we want, and then we place the rest into those, just like this. And now I'm gonna go work on something else, chat. So what is something else? I am glad you didn't ask, because I'm going to give you the answer anyway. I do not consent to you playing your Let's Play world. Oh, do you hear that? Adam Sony doesn't consent, everyone. That means we've all got to stop. Or I guess maybe she has to shut her eyes. I'm not sure the rules on this one. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? 6989. I remember being at like 6,600 days and just feeling like, yeah, because 100 days in Minecraft takes a minimum of 17 hours, and because we don't sleep a lot because we work on big projects, it can be closer to 30, 33 hours. And so as a result, it's kind of crazy whenever we hit any 100-day milestone, and it's especially cool to be hitting 7,000. But yeah, we're just going to be chilling and casually doing what it is we usually do, because it is, it's a very hot summer's day. June the 25th, in fact. Do you know we had summer solstice, chat? I didn't even mention it. So in the real world, where there are seasons, where you are right now, your days are going to start getting shorter because the longest day just occurred. I love dumb things like that. Like, it feels like niche enough knowledge that I enjoy learning about it. But yeah, because of the rotation of the sun around the Earth, if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, your days were at the longest they'll ever be. And it was crazy. I was actually out on June 22nd, and I went to bed at like 9 p.m. because I'm jet lagged or something like that. And it was super bright out, maybe 9:30. It was super bright outside. And then I woke up at like 5:30 and it was bright still. Well, again, actually. But as far as I was concerned, still. It's now really easy to never experience the world when it is dark. Kind of in an inverse to how it is in the peak of winter. By the way, I do consent, and it's my birthday! So you may continue if you please. Thank you! I've worked out, chat. I've been really light-footed about using my air conditioning unit. I've got one that just goes out the window here. Because I do get comments saying, like, oh, I can hear a fan in the background, so I can't. But I figured it'd be better for people to have a fan in the background than for me to have, like, a an overheat. It's 28 degrees in here with the AC on, so I hate to imagine how hot it will get without it. And, yeah, it's something that I've just been turning off solely to record little snippets of videos today. But it's been surprisingly productive. I've had a great day so far. So the project I want to work on first, chat, is one that I just feel like I'm so close to making a real great dent in. And that's why I want to start with it. Hey, Po Girl! Thank you for the first tip of the stream. How are you doing today? I played with vibrant visuals on my iPad yesterday. It was so pretty, but my iPad got hot, so back to fancy graphics. Hope you're doing desert well today. Oh yeah, my plan was to do the stream with fancy graphics, so let's do a quick downgrade. Can we do that on Realms? Let's do it. Let's do a quick downgrade. Wait, that's video, that's audio. Let's do a quick downgrade to fancy, and let's see if anyone feels like they're missing out on something. Because I feel like, unlike most changes where you're like, oh, I can't imagine how we used to do that, I feel like playing fancy is still very much like, yeah, this is probably how I want to do it, right? Am I alone in that chat? Or do you also agree that, like, yeah, vibrant visuals is still just a nice to have, not a must have. I wonder if it will ever change to that, because, like, new textures Playing with old textures is like horrifying to me. You immediately notice in screenshots, and you wonder like, what weird deviant thing is this person doing? Will playing with regular graphics be like that, or is it just very different? Also, I feel fancy now, says Cat. Good to see you, Cat. Thank you very much for, as always, explaining the best time to get snacks and water is before a stream. I mean, water, I feel like the biggest quality of life change is just having water ready to go whenever I leave the house. One of the easiest things you can do to make your life better, because you know you're going to get thirsty, right? You know that, especially as it's hot, just having water easily, readily accessible. Because if maybe, you know, if like me, you have this like psychological aversion to buying bottles of water, I think it really helps that psychological aversion if if it's free because it's already bought and in your fridge, or if you refill, you know, like, or semi-refillable ones that you get yourself. There are lots of ways to do it. Oh, no. Ooh, that torch doesn't need to be there because there's lava instead. So yeah, oh no. The good news is, chat, that right now, I am in fact an ocelot and not a chicken. Because if I was, then you know it would start playing right now. Honestly, I'm amazed that they managed to impress me with this. I went out of the gate so cynical, chat. I feel like you know, like about a lot of things nowadays in Minecraft, I feel like sometimes I'm the group cynic, and in a way that I don't necessarily want to be. I wanna be critical but fair, you know, firm but fair, or whatever. But this is, even though this is the clearest movie tie-in ever, and it's the clearest way of just being like, please go and watch our movie. We you know, like it feels, you know, making the Minecraft movie canonical is crazy, but also, isn't this great? It's so crazy. Your world is messing up because actions and stuff is too much. This isn't the time for controversial opinions. Actions and stuff, it's... I know this is a controversial take, and I'm sorry, but actions and stuff is not as good as people think. I don't know why that's controversial to say. I don't think, you know, there's a reason Minecraft hasn't added those animations. I know there's quite a few things where it feels like Minecraft probably should add them, but animations is so low down on the list, and you know, am I a boomer now? Is this what's happened here? So I'm gonna get 4 lava buckets for the hotbar. Also, I love the villager noises. Yeah, I was genuinely floored. I was like, you know, this is like kind of cool, I guess. And then I was like, okay, this is. It feels. Do you know the Game of Thrones mix they did for April Fools that one year? It gives like really heavy vibes of that to me, in like the best way possible. Again, love it personally. So let's now place some lava here, lava here, lava here, and lava here. Placing it on the inside there is going to be a bit of a nightmare, but thankfully I have scaffolding that'll do that job for me. So 4 buckets back there. I probably should just limit my number of buckets in one spot. So let's grab our bamboo scaffolding and let's see if that will be useful today. I've got 26 of it. I have a theory that it might be. I'm gonna have to be very, very cautious about it, but as long as I bridge like this. No, I can't reach down. I need to go 1 block lower down. Oh no, it might scaffold it. Okay, so I'll place the scaffolding here, and then here, and then here, and then here, and then here. It could very easily burn at any point, so I'm just going to check that it won't, and if it doesn't, then I'll know that I can use 3 blocks up as my thing. Yeah, I removed Vibrant and Actions and stuff. I'm defo a boomer. You know, it's it's interesting that you had it installed in the first place, though. I feel like there was this huge wave of, like, hype for Actions and stuff from, like, Java players, too. That it just, I don't know, I feel this is an inevitable thing in the gaming space. There's going to be some cool thing. Oh, I'm still not close enough to actually place the lava buckets down. So I need to go another block down. But it's not going to be possible from there. So I guess I just start bridging out as far as it will let me. Yeah, but I can see how that's going to give me issues real quick. Okay, so yeah, it looks like lava goes just far enough away to not give me problems when doing this. Which is perfect. Yeah, nice. And again, it could be a bit smoother in places, and we can always work on that later. But I've kind of let the fear of doing this horribly wrong stop me from doing it at all. And I think that if I'm here, it's, you know, approaching a big milestone. I get people asking literally all the time, like, how do I keep it well going? And the tip is like, just keep going. You know, like it's weird advice to give, but like for real, the easiest way to keep doing something is to not stop doing it. I think I would give this advice most crucially for friends. Like there's you know, it's I think the most commonplace you hear it nowadays is like being a content creator. I think it's wild that people will say this about like, you know, Instagram or TikTok stuff. Like no one's refreshing their Instagram at 4 p.m. every day to see your post. But I do think that like, you know, streamers, maybe even YouTube too, there are some number of people who are like, oh yeah, even if you don't notice it, you'll habit form that every day, every Monday, this video just appears. I don't know how I got it. I never paid for it. I think it might be part of the Minecoins package. Oh, that's cool if so. I wonder if it's cool for them. The successive actions and stuff, literally, I don't want to say generational wealth, right? But we're talking like not that far off it. I'm really, really happy for the developers, Orville Studios. I don't know how much, you know, like the people who developed it versus the people who published it. I don't know the split there. I would really hope that, you know, like that's like fairly worked out. But like actions and stuff is so successful that there is a, like I feel like it's like 1% of Minecraft players have it, which seems really low, but for a game as big as Minecraft, it's like I don't know of any other add-on that has that many people, you know, even wanting to play it. If I get bored, I leave all my things and move and start again, and set a goal for what do I need to achieve before I can go back. Oh, Cat, I've done the same a few times, actually. By the way, can you see how hot it is? I feel like I've been trying. I was recording a lot today with Facecam, and I was like, oh no, I've got a random pink spot on my head. What is this? Am I like? And it's like, oh no, the reason that the pink spot's there is it's sweat. And I'm looking at my hair, and I'm like, oh no, what's wrong with my hair? And I'm like, oh, it's probably sweat. Yeah, Orville's one of the most successful marketplace add-on makers ever. Yeah, there was another studio that got so successful, they're like, it actually doesn't make sense for us to be on the marketplace anymore. And so they've started making games, and I'm curious to see how that goes. Like for them and for the marketplace, I guess. So there's one block left to place, and it's like annoyingly perfectly over there in the center. I bet I can reach it, though. I bet I can reach it. So, you know, I'm going to go against what I just said about working on projects through the night. You know, if we're working towards a milestone, let's work towards that milestone, you know? So we're going to go to bed, because I don't want my villagers to be murdered again. I've had the inhabitants of this village have been murdered so many times. I literally don't know who's generation 2, 3, 4. But I do know I have a bunch of these. So I'm pleased to be catching some relaxing Toy Cat craziness tonight. It's been a stressful day, says Jane K. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, I'm sorry about yesterday's stream being sore. I think I'm really like... This is a dumb thing, but I refuse to say outwardly ever that talking for hours at a time is hard. I refuse to concede that that point is true. Because no matter... There are some things that everyone, even no matter how true they are, you're not allowed to say them, right? Like, you know, an example would be like, you know, actually, I'm not going to say it. See, look at that. I know that there are some things that are so true. Everyone knows they're true. But about 10% of people find wildly offensive. And I think the classic example is when streamers think their job is hard. And it's like, well, it's not as hard as a regular job, right? But anything that you do for a long period of time and that you want to be good at doing, I think is a challenge, or can be a challenge. You know, like any skill that you have to use. Like previously, if you were like a professional yapper, which is I think the new term for people like this, I think previously if you liked talking a lot, your only job was being a politician. I watched an interview of Angela Merkel today, or listened to in the background. I listened to an interview of Angela Merkel, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you know, like in the you know, because she grew up in the East Germany, like the socialist state, and she was like, yeah, we just didn't really get to imagine what it would be like when this was gone because we were that sure it was like all-encompassing. It was like a really interesting message. But she was like, yeah, I went into chemistry. I wouldn't have gone into chemistry if I was born in the other half of Germany. But what I realized is, as much as I was good at working with science, what I really liked was people. I loved talking, and so I taught myself to talk for long times. And I was like, you know, the only other German politician I know also spoke for long periods of time. Also, that's very weird the way that is working right there, huh? 7,000, that's lots of days. It is. I'm friends with the head of a team, Petrie Studios, and the guy is rich. He spent $800 on dinner on a random Wednesday, no event. Were you invited to this $800 dinner, Adam Sony? Yeah, I don't want to ever get aboard the conversation of implying it's a bad thing, right? But there are some spaces. This is like advice in general, right? By the time something becomes a job that someone can hire you to do, that thing has been optimized. You know, like if you think about the profit margin in a daily, I don't know, like it's McDonald's, because we love McDonald's. It's been optimized a bunch. Like the profit per burger is really low. You need to make a bunch of burgers, and so the amount of, like, you know, I guess what I'm saying is, by the time someone knows what to do well enough to tell you exactly what it is that you're doing, I think most of the, you know, like, the opportunity is gone. I think all the things where, like, the crazy, you know, millionaires are being made is in they're doing something that didn't exist before they were doing it, or that started just before. Like, I guess you could describe early YouTubers that way. Like, I think a lot of people who started in, like, the early 2000s, if you got to, like, you know, 1 million subscribers, or, like, you know, 20, 30 million views a month, it's like, oh yeah, has PewDiePie mentioned before that he made, like, several $1 million a month for years in a row? I think PewDiePie has. But if he hasn't, there are channels out there that have conceded, like, oh yeah, the right place, right time, very, very well off. It's not like a controversial thing to say. The same is true for being on the marketplace early. The same is true for people who go into dropshipping early. I've mentioned this before, but one of my business partner when I was 12, he was Maltese, like the country, and he was like, yeah, there's this dropshipping thing, it's gonna be huge. And I didn't let him explain it to me. It's like it's an empire right now. It was not. Me and him live on opposite sides of the US. Oh, you need to live closer to this guy. So I know quite a few studio people in the UK, and it's a very similar thing. Like, oh yeah, we started doing this thing. We got into the partner program, realizing there might be something there. You have one runaway piece of content, and then if you just follow up with something that comes up close, it's like, oh yeah, now it's set. Now we're good. I would even be willing to bet the modern house people made a killing, right? If you want to see his first flat world, there's a fun Easter egg on the Ultra Flat Survival map. Search IBX Toy Maps on the marketplace. Hey, thank you. I can't wait for someone to make a chicken jockey farm. I don't think you want to farm chicken jockeys, right? I could be wrong about what you want and what you don't want. I'm not the boss of you. But I feel like you don't necessarily want that. Also, it looks like I'm going to need more cauldrons here. I think if I can't work on this continuously, there's no way I'm filling this entire thing up. Like, I just see that being an issue already. I could start to drain the torches out of here. That's like a useful task that has to be done at some point anyway. So I guess we'll do it now. At least starting on this side, moving over. So these torches just aren't necessary anymore because there's lava up there. It's perfectly light all the time, everywhere. So we can just grab them all. The torches don't have that high of an individual value, but it still feels nice not to waste things, right? I wish we would admit more. Sometimes, like, people get really big on, like, oh, that's so wasteful. When really, and they'll mention, like, the environment, but what they really mean is it just feels wrong to waste things sometimes. Like, I read the dumbest thing recently. When I was 11, I tried so hard to get my mum to buy Bitcoin. Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? How many things like that there are out there where, like, again, like, it's the reason why, by the way, if you get into Bitcoin now, you might make some money. You might even make 5 times your money, but you're never going to make 1,000 times your money. The right time to be involved in something is when no one has any idea what it is. And if you told people you were doing it, they would say, I don't know about that one. Because by the time people think it's a good idea, people start doing it, right? I think the only reason that hasn't happened for marketplace maps is because studios are, like, really thin on the ground. I got wildly lucky, chat. When I decided to apply because I had a really fun idea for a map, and it just so happened that their criteria is how many maps have you made before the marketplace. It's not that anymore because the marketplace has been around long enough. You can work on existing marketplace teams. But I got like really lucky that they're like, oh, you are a creator. You've put maps out for download, like dozens of them, and you know, they've been successful. People have liked them. They are creative and unique. I was really happy. It was really like you know, fortunate circumstance, I guess I should say. But like even then, it's like, oh yeah, I was the 241st partner. The first 8 partners, you know, obviously would do a whole order of magnitude better. Anyway, so I think I'm trying really hard to get the teachable moment out in here, but I love getting distracted in the weeds, as I'm sure you know if you watch this channel. But my point here is just like, there is gonna be something, if you spend a lot of time on the internet especially, there's gonna be something you learn about early on, and there's a 98% chance that thing never goes anywhere. I don't know, I was really into forums at one point, and forums are all dead. It's Reddit now. If I invested a bunch of money in a forum, I would have zero, it would be gone now, you know? Forums were huge at one point, and now they're not. The number of things you could mention on the internet that were huge and now are gone, whereas the number of things that have survived is like 6. Like Apple, Facebook, Netflix, Amazon, and if you're lucky enough that your thing turned into one of those. You know, it's crazy, like, the reason that you can make so much from, you know, a texture pack is because of Microsoft indirectly. The reason you can make so much via you know, a really successful YouTube video is because of Google. It's all 6 companies now. You better hope that your idea was bought by one of them. But the next version might be too, right? Like Instagram used to be a unique thing. And so I'm giving that advice not to anyone who's like 28 and has kids. Please don't listen to me on how to be wealthy. I'm not qualified to help you. But like I know there's multiple people who watch these videos who are in that, like, you know, like 15 to 18 bracket. You know, I know there are people who are like, you know, who spend a lot of time on the internet, who find more community here, and who honestly, you know, don't have a lot of real world resources. I mentioned before, that's something that can make you feel like isolated on the internet, but it can also be like a huge strength. By the way, look at what happens when I pull out the hoe. You can see my hand in the hoe for like a split second at the same time. It's kind of fun. But yeah, so are you going to remove the signs and let the lava down when you're finished? It would make the glass section look better. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do it for the glass section. I'm not even sure if I want to put signs up for the glass section yet. That's how it is. People still make personal websites. You have to know how to find them. There are directories. I watched a YouTube video about it. Yeah, you can still make money on a personal website. So I was going to say a friend of mine, but literally, chat, an enemy of mine. A guy who randomly hated me for no reason. And I spoke to him about it because we went to the same, you know, Minecraft event. And he played off like, oh, no. And then he was like really uncool about it. I still to this day don't know why this guy hates me. So my enemy, he made a Minecraft website. And it's, you know, it's a free thing that you can pay to upgrade to get more features. The free thing is the best version of the free thing that exists, and the paid version is probably a good version of whatever it is. I don't know. You can tell I'm not bigging him up because I like him, hopefully. But yeah, he's like, oh yeah, this is my primary source of income, and he lives in, you know, Texas. I don't know if that's wild money or if that's like 30K a year money, but happy for him. I think I'm happy for anyone who like wants to make it their own way, right? I've never like been an employee, you know, outside of work experience. It's like it's not a thing that I necessarily get. So I try to help anyone who like has that mindset of like, oh yeah, I don't know that I would do great with a normal job, but if you like doing things still, if that feeling of working passionately on a project and not seeing what time it is outside, if you love that feeling, then hopefully I've helped someone right there. Which is what the Let's Play is all about, right? Random ramblings about subjects I enjoy. He's chat's enemy now. You know what, chat? Can you all agree to hate this guy too? I'm not going to give you his username. I'm not petty enough. It's the weirdest thing. I think this is the other weird thing about like early communities is they'll be really clicky. Is clicky the word? You know, like you know, people will just randomly dislike people. You'll hear a friend be like, oh, I hate this guy, and you'll be like, well, he's my friend, so I guess I hate them now too. And it's like, well, this isn't actually that. This isn't an efficient way of running things, but I guess it's how we're going to do things. So chat, you can see it's really uneven here. I looked at this and I thought, it doesn't look that bad. But there's definitely a level of unevenness where it looks like you're doing the bare minimum. So I think I'm going to try and fill in some more of the layers here later. But clearly I need more cauldrons if I'm going to do this. So let's go out. Let's pick up a ton of lava. Like, how many buckets do I have? Let's pick up this many buckets from the nether. And then bring back some cauldrons. I'll at least make like a few more cauldrons here, right? Yeah, I could easily do that. These cauldrons aren't even activated, so if I activate these cauldrons as a priority, can I, or should I do that actually? Is that a wise idea? It seems like this could go horribly wrong for me. Yeah, let's not. Let's go this way round. And let's, so it's this block here, right? Yeah, there we go. That's much easier. So we'll place the lava bucket down, and then the dirt bucket back. And now that should be a fire, except I feel like it might burn down this house. I'll find out if the house is burning down when I come back, I guess. So yeah, I like the idea of putting down a few more. Oh, there's a few blocks it looks like I haven't done. I'm gonna have to check now. Oh no, it's definitely that. It's definitely that. There's lava there. We're good. This project inspired my overworld lava lake. Yeah, I think lava is a messy resource, but it's kind of fun to play with sometimes, right? I think you've got to have a mix of projects that are easy to do and projects that are like painful but will result in something cool to look at. Like I think that mountain was easy to do, and so you don't get that much joy from looking at it. It's like it's a cool part of the world. Like it's a sign I did something years ago. Whereas, you know, if I look at these over here, I collected every block in 1.14. Still looking at that collection, even though they've added so many more blocks now, still looking at the collection, it's like, oh yeah, this is actually... going out and doing that was fun, like methodically ticking off a list. I think sometimes you can look at a build and have memories. Sometimes you can look at a build and appreciate what you've done. And sometimes you get lucky and you get the weird mix of the two. I have dies today. I have died today times in lava this week. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like you died a lot of times in lava. Days of Danny. Good to see you, by the way. But yeah, what if chat could control what happens in the world? Yeah, I tried to set up a Java stream with that recently, but again, it has to be for Java. It's not that fun of a thing. You can't do it with add-ons, because add-ons are quite limited. They can't require network to work, as far as I know. I've broken my keyboard. I have no self-control. Says ICY Toycar. Very fun username and comment right there. Glad you left it. So let's take this out and then just put a bit of that there. And then let's put some leather away somewhere. For now, it goes in here. Now I'll put the scaffolding away because it's clearly just not that useful. That's the opposite of putting scaffolding away. And then we'll put the torches away too. And that should free up some slots. Not quite as many as I need though, right? But I feel like all of these items are valuable, chat. What item could I do with not having it on me right now? I think literally none. Literally none, but I'll put the bed away anyway. Okay, so let's go to the nether, and then let's grab a cauldron. And, you know, actually, chat, let's treat this like it's a long extended live Let's Play episode. Should we add a build to our cast museum? I saw one I really liked recently, so I want to share it with you, internet. So we're gonna grab 7 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're gonna craft them into one of these. In fact, do I have a bunch of iron over here? If I do, that would be convenient. I've got a cauldron at least. So 2 cauldrons for me, great. And then we're gonna craft ourselves using 8 of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And a soul sand, which I don't keep around here. It's yeah, I definitely don't. That's soul soil. Amazingly, I have like every bizarre resource, but not soul sand. So we'll go to the nether, we'll pick up a soul sand, and you know what we're up to now, chat. So let's pick up some lava, let's bring it home, let's do some things. The Minecraft movie is still showing in theaters, and we've seen some people go nuts over the chicken jockey, and I just can't. I think people are definitely doing it for the meme at this point, right? I know, I think the easiest way, I think this is a useful thing to know about society. If it stresses you a bunch to think about something, or even if you're thinking about it a bunch, etc., etc., it's like, you know, like, you don't need to. It feels like you need to. That's the power of the technique. But like most things, it feels like you need to care about. You probably don't. Again, talking about like games, like people will convince you this game is the most hyped thing ever. You need to play the. Oh, I could have picked up a different piece of salt sand. You need to play this game right now. It's the revolution, and then it's like, oh no, this is actually fine. And even crazier is people forget about it next week. I feel like I'm already at that stage of Mario Kart World. Like, you know, it's good, but I think I'm done with it. I am sad. You know, sadly, it's a great game, but it's now going to be a pick up every now and then and play for like 20 minutes at a time game, not a play for hours in a row sort of game. But that's how Mario Kart is, I think, for a lot of people. Oh, cool people. So I'm going to be very careful with my lava management here. I've thrown many a bucket of lava in lava. And weirdly enough, you can burn lava in lava. It doesn't make any sense that you can, but you can. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Means I'll scoop up 1, 2, 3. Oh god. Crouching does not work correctly with lava. Okay, it's fine. I picked up a bunch of stuff and I'm not dead. Oh no, I might be dead. Okay. As long as he doesn't get me, we'll be fine. And then we'll craft a happy ghast. Which means I can now use the last 2 buckets, because I've got 2 inventory spaces. Hey, this is perfect. 1 there, and there's probably 1 over here somewhere. There we go. Got an inventory full of buckets. Stop spamming buckets. Neverite buckets when? See, if free Neverite allowed you to craft a bunch of that, would you do it? Also, I love when a child comes into chat and says something like, I was in my world with gilded armor and Herobrine came and hit me with an obsidian sword and killed me, but my dog ate him. See, that... Okay. Let me say something wild that maybe you won't agree with, but I think it's true. You know that there's always a child on the internet. I think it's like it's a phenomenon in any space where you find, you know, the occasional child. And let's be honest, I think Minecraft does have a lot of like pre-13-year-olds who watch it. I don't think a lot of them make their way to these live streams. I think my videos tend to be a bit older than the average player, and then my streams are a lot older than the average video viewer. You know, if you're below the age of 15, you don't have the attention span to watch 32 minutes in a row. I did not have Subway Surfers below me right now, and so they're just not here. They're just not here if you're below 15. You've got to have some crazy level of self-control if you're watching it. And also, Alina Knows says, it was so cool when Toycat reviewed the year features in Winding River Seed. It was like he came to my world to visit, but didn't really. Yeah, I'm really getting into the default world seeds. I think I've realized at this point, there are so many good Minecraft seeds that I think people are like kind of done with it. And then I realized, well, if every Minecraft seed is equal again, or not equal, but if everyone's apathetic towards every seed, then the best seeds are the ones that are the most apathetically lazy to put in, and that's the default seeds. You could maybe argue the seed like 100 is easier to type in than the Winding Rivers, but I think Winding Rivers is easier because, especially on a controller, you don't have to use that on-screen keyboard. And so, yeah, seed templates are huge for me. I'm starting to use them for all my survival videos. And it's kind of cool because you have like a vague idea of what the world's going to be. Absolutely love that. So yeah, we're going to put down another cauldron, chat. Load this right here. Cauldron. I don't know where to put the cauldrons, to be honest with you. If I put one here, I don't think I have the... Oh yeah, there is wood right there, chat. Oh yeah, I can see how this is going to go poorly already. So we're going to now move the buckets together. Also, thank you, Pogo! I missed Icy Y Toycat's chat that says, did you know eggs have a favorite maker vehicle? It's the Yoltzwagon. Can't believe I missed that. And Pogo tipped saying, if playing Minecraft Nintendo Edition in 2025 video, you said something about your girlfriend. Does she know about your harem? See, the trick is, right? The trick is if you never tell anyone anything, they'll never know about anything. And then they can never question you about your internet harem. No, that's not true at all. I feel like I am... I used to take the attitude of like, oh yeah, on YouTube, like, you know, like, it's not like your business to know or anything. But also, like, I get why if you like a YouTuber, you might care about what's going on in their life or whatever. I was like, I still am a big believer in, like, you should try to tell what you can. But I don't know, like, very early on, my girlfriend offered, when I was like 10 years ago, an ex-girlfriend offered to make a video of me, and I don't know, I just hated the experience. I think she was, there's two types of nervous. There's a type of nervous where you're like, oh, I don't know what's happening, and there's a type of nervous where you try to push it onto other people, like try to make them feel as bad on the outside as you feel on the inside. I know, like it's a bad thing to do in my opinion, but it is what some people do. And yeah, I'm gonna grab some glass, by the way, so I can actually. I didn't realize how many of my things just weren't running because of lack of lava. I can't sprint right now because I have no food. Better eat some food. My 77-year-old mum loves the movie. She was asking me about the game yesterday. Oh, that's super wholesome, Johnny Plays. Yeah, the number of, not like octogenarians, but septuagenarians certainly. Like, the number of them that are watching Minecraft videos, like, usually from slightly more mature creators, but, like, I mentioned before meeting a couple, like, it's crazy. But yeah, so I think, like, it's the sort of thing where some people have personalities where they love being on camera. Most people do not. And so you shouldn't show someone if they are not the type of person to actually enjoy being on camera, because otherwise you're doing it for you and or your own reasons rather than them. And then also it has that, like, painful side effect. Like, after this breakup I went through, right? As well as dealing with, you know, the breakup itself, I deal with all the comments being like, oh, so where's the girlfriend, Toy Cat? She was kind of funny in that one video. And it's like, you know, it wasn't her being funny, it was her. Sorry. It's like, it's kind of like painful to, like, I guess, like, you know, in your real life, people might be like, oh, you're not with so-and-so anymore? And you go like, oh yeah, and it would be totally chill. It's just a bit different on the internet, right? Because like I mentioned that people get back into Minecraft or back into watching these videos after a while. People might do that, and if they do, oh, I'm gonna burn chat. No, what's happening to me? Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of burning's gonna happen. Oh no, I put it half of. All that lava's gone to waste, chat. All that lava's gone. Hopefully I didn't put any back there, at least. Okay, so lava, lava, lava. Okay. Glass, glass, glass. Think I nailed that. Which means that we should have some more lava coming into play. So this block here definitely needs to be fixed. Let's go in there and let's fix it. And so just by doing this, we're going to increase the amount of lava we're growing without having to place any more cauldrons. Nice. Okay, so chat, what we're going to do now is, like I mentioned, this is kind of, if you think about it, an extended Let's Play episode. It's one where we're counting down to a very big event. And so I figured, you know, why don't we treat it like a Let's Play episode and bring back a classic feature, adding something to the cursed Minecraft museum. And so here's something I saw that I absolutely loved. It is not my own independent thought, but I thought it was so perfect for the cursed. I don't know what to call it. The cursed area, I guess we'll call it. So looks neat. I love what you did to the place, says Justin Delisle. Thank you very much. I wish the Happy Gas recipe had a fire charge in it. If it had a fire charge, it wouldn't make sense, because the Happy Gas doesn't shoot fireballs. I think you could definitely. I think they made a very conscious decision not to allow you to shoot fireballs. Because even though it would make sense for the Happy Gas to do so, don't get me wrong, I get where you're coming from. I also feel like it would have been a deliberately rough thing. Also, material doesn't matter, how you use it does. So stupid. So I've got this sheep tied up in the corner over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this corner. I guess we need to find the right spot for this, huh? By the way, do you like my table enchanting? I think it's beautiful. I've got just the right number of enchantment tables to get the right enchantments that I want. But yeah, I think this corner is still going to have to be the one. Maybe like right here, and we'll just put that behind it. So you put a cauldron down, you put lava in the cauldron, And then you put a dried ghast on the cauldron, and it looks like the dried ghast is desperately crawling for life. And again, if there is a perfect fit for this museum, then it's that. Did you know you could name Armistan's Dinnerbone? I've learned this fact 3 times, and it will never not amaze me. Did you know you can get efficiency on leggings, chat? Look at this, efficient leggings. It's a shame they fixed that bug. Or is it a shame? I mean, it's probably objectively good, but still, I think, quite funny. So, hello, Toy Cat. No vibrant visuals, huh? Yeah, I decided to turn them off today. I feel like, for a big milestone, I didn't want to do it. Especially because it's like still early days for vibrant visuals. So, yeah, chat, what's your favorite color, by the way? Unrelated fact to a recent comment we had in here. Not anymore. I don't need an axe at that point. You know, very valid point. I guess if you spawn in a woodland mansion, it's a good change. You know, we all are often spawning in woodland mansions, so it's good that they've really catered for us there. But yeah, I think there's a bunch of Minecraft bugs that exist for long enough, they become loved by the community. And it's a really hard decision about whether you let those stay or not. And I think they've gone for no on Bedrock. And even though it's a hard call to make, it's probably right in the long run. But it means we have these, like, features that we love that kind of just vanish sometimes. Okay, so we're going to place a bunch of them close together over here. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Love the amusement park. Any thought on making a museum? Oh, I love the idea of the museum I see, Toy Cart. You know, okay. How much work does it take to turn... Oh, no, no. How much work will it take to turn my existing museum into a museum, chat? I think it could be quite easy. Okay, so let's take a moment to distract ourselves. It's fine. Our lava is still growing. Okay, so this is the museum. Although I could make it a museum and just put a little cat face on it. Oh, that's a way better idea. Instead of a museum, why not make it a museum? I could... Because, like, the 2 layers allow me to put, like, eyes on the top. And I could put, like, a cat face on the bottom here. It's a great idea. I remember dating a guy and I used to watch someone else's lives. A couple years later, married my husband. Came back to the guy and they're like, you guys have got married? And I'm like, oh no, law time. Yeah, it's the... I think that's the reason why weddings, like... I think large-scale weddings are, like, a painful concept to me. I used to think, like, yeah, you know, I don't know about this one. But I kind of get the idea that you should get everyone in your life together and give them a life update all at the same time. Just be like, so for everyone's, you know, everyone gather up. I don't have to mention this again. But just so you guys know, we've decided to combine our finances together forever. And also, if I'm in the hospital, he has to come get me, not any of you. You know, my mother had to pay a dowry, so she's also not going to be willing to give out any money for a bit. But in exchange for this, now, you know, we're in love, or whatever the benefit of marriage is meant to be. You know, it's mostly the legal stuff, right? It's actually kind of weird that I think marriage is one of the goofiest, like, concepts on paper. I think there's a lot of things that are goofy on paper, but as you get older, you start to, like, just accept them as part of your world, and then you start to think, like, well, you know, how could we live without them? Which is, like, a dangerous thought, really, in a way, isn't it? Like, ideally, things should exist because they are good, not because we are used to them. But all sorts of things exist because we're used to them, like me! Thank you for choosing to watch this Let's Play today. Presumably you have chosen to watch it because you have watched other Let's Players. And you found them to be at least of acceptable quality. You know, which is really, you know, what you're saying with your attendance here. A young couple bought my parents' house. They didn't tell anyone they knew. They're inviting all their friends and family for a barbecue, then dropping, oh yeah, we own the place. That's really fun, Chantal. I like that a lot. I think that is, I think that's a perfect way to do it. I love this idea of, like, I like the idea of big reveals a lot. Maybe because I, you know, work here on the internet, you know, but I just love the idea of being able to, like, be like, oh yeah, and just so you know, whoa, I guess it's like a magician thing almost, like, I think you don't realize how hard attention is to keep. Like, even it's a weird thing. Like people zone out all the time when talking to people. It's like it's a really common thing. If you don't notice this, like pay attention when you're talking to someone about how focused they are on what you're saying, but also how focused you are on what they're saying. Like it's really easy to accidentally get into a part where you're like, just gonna wait for them to finish this point about the post office so I can talk about something much more exciting. It's like the worst conversational thing to do, but there's a reason it happens so often, right? Oh yeah. This is, the core idea of marriage makes sense to me, but nowadays I think it's too easy to breach the contract for it to make sense anymore. Yeah, it's like I think that if I was to really try and describe marriage from scratch, I'm gonna try and actually take on the Let's Play we talk about subjects like marriage and Brian Harshman.
This is definitely not a bribe. Submitting my VV Forever Cat realm soon. Cheers to 7K days.
I would love to check it out, Brian Harshman. Unrelated to your... See, the weird thing about it, I think we could call it a bribe if we wanted to, but the fact that the fact that I immediately recognized your name, the fact that it wasn't pushy, it wasn't like, here is the money, now you have to deliver a service. If I didn't review your realm, you wouldn't be like, oh, that monster. But now I actually want to review your realm more. It's like, oh yeah, I want to review long-term subscriber Brian Harshman, or at least long-term super chatter. Maybe you drop in, you tip, and then you leave. Your live stream experience is in 3-minute segments in a row. Me and my hubby were together 10 years before we got married. I hated the whole wedding thing. Thankfully, don't have to do that again. I mean, I don't think you're meant to say this, but there's still time. There's still time. There's all manners of way. If you've ever seen the subreddit Why Women Live Longer, there's always... You never think to yourself, this is my one and only wedding. I guess you can always think it's the only time I'll get married. Because, like, why bother after the first time? Which actually is probably a good point. Amble says, I find it hard not to listen to people. I also... So that... Weirdly, Amble, I think I agree with this. I find it hard not to listen to people. But I think I find it hard because at one point, I really started thinking about it. And I was like, oh yeah. What's the point in me being in a conversation if I'm not going to listen? If I'm not listening to someone, I'm just not going to be in a conversation with them, right? Like, it's I guess it's like an intentional thing. It's like the same way I won't doom scroll because by the time my phone makes me sad, I'm like, why am I on my phone if it's making me sad? I've got things outside my phone that don't make me sad, and I've got things outside my phone that make me sad but that need to get done. I had to make a call to my my car dealer chat to say like, oh yeah, there's this fault in the car. And they're like, well, bad news is we only cover faults if they're not suspension or electrics. And I'm like, well, I mean, under your Consumer Rights Act obligations, it's not really your choice to make. And they're like, actually, I understand this act perfectly. You don't. And so, and I was like, well, I'm not going to fight you because it sounds like it's a cheap repair. But if it's more expensive, then I guess we'll see how that one goes. Have a great day and all that. I was dreading having the conversation because I was sure it would go chill. I was sure he wouldn't. Like, I was sure that most people, when they don't want to do something, they get really indirect about it. They're like, oh yeah, just get it done and then submit an invoice to us and we'll get it done in like 180 days. But it was just like, nah, not a problem. Do you go to someone to get it fixed? Then good luck with that, I guess. Marriage is a long-term commitment. Our society doesn't do those anymore, which isn't great. I think generic observer, that's a pretty generic observation. I think that there is more to it than that. I think that if I was trying to... I think marriage made way more sense in single-earner households. Like, think about the flaw in saying one person goes out to work at the work factory, and then one person stays home and looks after the house. They're both types of labor. One is being paid financially, one is not being paid financially. And when you split up, you can split the house as much as you like, but a lot of that labor has already been enjoyed. Kind of think about it as if you had your own job where all of the money went to both of you, but they get a job where I don't know. Like, you can kind of understand, like, in single owner households, you need protection for if things were bought using the money that you helped someone else to earn. 50% seems extreme, but you can see why you're entitled to a percent of that, right? I think in dual earning households, especially like similar income dual earning households, it's a bit of a... It's kind of more of a, like, act of showing love by being like, look, We are making breaking up disastrous because we are so sure we will be together. And if you live in North America, there's also huge tax benefits. If you are married, you share tax brackets. So unless you have perfectly the same income, one of you starts paying less tax. I think one of you might start paying more tax, but like as a couple, you pay less tax, and your finances are joint. So that's what matters. In the UK, it matters if you earn between two very particular numbers and your spouse earns less than £12,000. You get like a very slight credit. But it's a really particular narrow band, and the credit is like £200 or something. It's like we tried to implement America Light, which we maybe shouldn't do. One is paid in cash, the other is paid in stress accrued. I mean, you could make the argument, right, that so looking after a house is definitely like a work you do that is, like paid out to both of you, or whoever owns the house, I guess you could say, which should be both of you, but whatever. But I think, should we go to bed, by the way? Let's not. I think you can definitely make the argument that, I think with childcare it's messier, right? Because even if you're looking after children, the children will like you more if you spend all your time with them than, at least I imagine. Everyone I know is like that. Like, if you have a parent who spends all their time working and never sees you, you have a little bit less of a connection to them. I feel like everyone's more connected to their mother in general, but like that's a part of why. Oh yeah, for real, the tax breaks help a lot in Canada. Yeah, you'd be insane not to get married to a friend that you trust if you live in a system like that. Like, I have friends that are not taking advantage of their tax brackets as much as I need to take advantage of mine or whatever, or reverse. Why don't we get married and pocket the difference? Or like just find like an opposite gender friend, and then marry them, and then like see if you're compatible and make the marriage work anyway if you're doing it for finance reasons anyway. But yeah, in the UK it's like there's an active penalty for getting married because you count as one unit for buying houses and stuff. It's really goofy actually. Because it's interesting because a lot of people think that like, oh yeah, the financial benefits are a real big reason to get married, but I don't think they actually make a huge difference, because otherwise we'd see marriage rates in Canada be like 10 times what they are in the UK. Usually economic incentives like shift what people do a lot, but as far as marriages go, it seems not to. I hate every time I place a lava and it does nothing, but it is something I have to accept is going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to try and place lava there. See, it just makes a big difference. There's a lot of smoothing for a little bit of work. And I think that now we could keep going in this direction, all the way up until about here. But I think we're going to like draw a line, like just place a glass here and here. And that's going to be where we draw the line. And we're going to fill this with lava. And then we'll see where we extend it from there. But I think this is like a nice starting point. You should have done the river thing in rows. Don't succumb to the sunk cost fallacy. Start over. No, so when I started it, a part of me was like, no, I want it to be perfectly smooth. But seeing how the lava is actually coming out, I'm like, oh no, I don't want that. I want to have my little enjoyment bits of success. I want to see it all be done now. And later it will suck, right? If I do decide I want it all to be perfectly filled. But like I was looking at it, I was like, well, if I'm never gonna fill it in rows anyway, it's better to do it this way. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm trying to not let perfectionism get in the way of. Okay, so something there too, maybe. I'm trying not to let my perfectionism get in the way of actually doing the project. Because the cool part of the project is going to be the lava over here. No one will really care if they look at it and they see it's not a bunch of sources. I mean, some people will. I would judge someone mildly on that. But not, like, to the level of hours we have to do with this. But yeah, I think, so the Canadian government will decide your common law if they decide your living situation suggests it. I've heard that before. It got me real scared that it would happen in the UK too. Like, I don't know if common law marriage has all the same benefits as regular marriage. Common law is a really weird, like, quirk of the English law system, by the way. But yeah, it sounds kind of scary to me that the government might just decide you're married one day. But also, I think that is probably how it should work. Weirdly enough, I think that we can either say that marriage is this huge, dumb thing to do that you only, like, or rather, it's a dumb thing to do because it would be hard to undo. And it's kind of like getting a, I don't know, like a promise ring, or getting a tattoo that says your job title. If you get a tattoo that says your job title on it, you're committing to do that job forever, right? Or if you get a tattoo that says your partner's name, you're gonna feel really silly when your girlfriend Heather when you're with your girlfriend Heather, but it says Crystal in giant letters on your backside. Yeah, I think that also tax breaks and money not good incentives marriage. They'll make breakups more likely when incentives dissolve. Oh, but like the incentives in America have existed for 80 years, right? I don't know about Canada specifically or other countries that do them. But you can never take away a married couple benefit. Like, I think in general, like, one of our societal problems is you can never take away a benefit. In the UK, we spend something like 400 billion, with a B, a year on what we just call, what is just, like, politely called, like, entitlement sometimes, or, like, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, oh, yeah, at some point, some government decided that you should have this money, and, like, hopefully they picked a good call. But because they decided that then, now forever, if you take it away, there'll be a huge backlash against it. It can never be done. It can only ever go up. It can never go down. And so we have, like, this huge, like, hole. And so, like, I think tax breaks are the same. Have you seen in the UK, farmers are protesting because they currently pay 0% inheritance tax, and regular people pay 40%. Farmers are protesting because their exemption is going up to 20. So farmers will pay half as much as a normal person does. If you work your whole life to buy a house, you'll pay 40% tax on it. If you work your whole life to buy a farm, you pay a 20% tax on it. And farmers are like, but we want 0. We don't think the government should get any. And that's just how it's always been. And it's like, yeah, the status quo is what you measure from. Which is, like, again, understandable. But that's why in that same vein that we all measure government incentives based on right now, you could also measure marriage based on, like, okay, so obviously building the ideal marriage world from scratch, you would do this. But if you look at marriage how it is right now, it's like, yeah, you make a big commitment to make it really hard to break up, and then people know they don't have to, like, tiptoe around, like, oh yeah, are you guys still together? Like, when you get divorced, it's a big announcement. You have to send out flyers, presumably. I don't know. I've never been divorced. Do you think they're going to add new stuff in the Minecraft movie that was in the Minecraft movie, since they added the painting and the lava chicken song? Was the painting in the movie? I feel like the painting's pretty derivative, at least. I mentioned this in today's video, which is being worked on right now. I think my phone just buzzed. I'll see if it's related, actually. Okay, it's unrelated. It's my brother inviting me to go to a winery. That's a sign I'm getting old, chat. My brother should be inviting me to go to get pizza for a tenner. And he's like, would you like to spend £85? That's my members only discount, by the way. To go to a winery? It's only 90 minutes away by train. This is the maybe it's actually the sign he's doing well or something. Maybe I should be happy rather than mocking off it. But so I need to get some more dripstone, by the way. All of this lava here is going to waste, and there's not even lava over there. Let's fix that ASAP. But yeah, I think this is you see what I mean? Like right now, I was like, oh, I could have done this whole thing from scratch. But now that I've run out of lava, I've kind of lost interest. I don't want to sit here and just wait for lava. I want to do another project while I wait for that lava to come back. And so I'm going to go drop all of these buckets in there. And then maybe we'll go grab some dripstone roots to bring back with us. I think maybe that's a good idea. Did you hear that, chat? It was probably nothing. It's statistically nothing. So let's now come in here. I'll take the lava that has grown and I'll put it into furnaces that have very few buckets. So 3 buckets in here. And then I'll just throw the rest of the buckets down here. There is a ludicrous number of buckets in here, chat. But yeah, slowly but surely we're going to smelt up a bunch of sand, get a bunch of glass. It'll be great. Do I need glass for anything right now? The end, technically speaking. But I don't think I've got enough to make a real dent in the end. I could go and do it anyway. You know, it's a fun time. Let's go place the glass that I have here. No, it's definitely not enough glass. Like, if we actually look at it, it's like 10 stacks. It just isn't enough to make a big difference. I don't think. So I'm going to put that... I'm going to put an extra cauldron over here now. And it's just going to go there so that if future me needs it, it's ready. Oh, actually, no. Where I'm going to go, I think I need that cauldron more. So, another big project I want to work on is my big console-sized nether. Because now has come the time where I can really take advantage of it. So actually, if I'm going to be doing a lot of mining, I don't suspect I will. But otherwise, I'd go get some levels first from my wandering traders. Or my not wandering traders. My very much locked in the basement traders. So, Kat, that really made me realize you're going to get old and wrinkly and grey. Oh, I've met... Okay, so I've met a friend. He's about to go on holiday. He's about to turn 30. It's one of my childhood friends. I've got so many dumb stories of this guy. Like, as a kid, you know, like sometimes we do like silly dares, and so like while we're in like a neighborhood like surrounded, you know, like by houses, he's like, "Bet you won't stick your butt out the window." And I was like, "Why would I not stick my butt out the window? Like, what do I have to lose by sticking it out there?" And so I mooned an entire street full of people. My parents learned like later, or my mother learned. The parent singular. Is it ex-parent, chat? No, it's late parent, right? My late parent learned. You know, why is it late? No, wait, it wasn't late. It would be early, right? Is it your late, you know how it's your late husband? Is it still your late husband, like, if it's early on in your relationship? You know, when I was 4, she was my early mother. Like, I had only known her 4 years at that point. Anyway, yeah, old age is a gift, not to get. Not all get to unwrap. Yeah, it's very true. It's crazy. Every additional year you live, there are millions of people. Not tens, not hundreds, not thousands. Millions of people, tens of millions of people that don't get to see your age. It probably goes back down to millions as you get to like your 40s, and then like goes back up to tens of millions as you go through your 50s, 60s, and 70s. Like, the human body really, like, after age 30, there's no reason for it to work anymore, right? Like, maybe you could argue, like, 45, so you can rear a child. Once you could theoretically, you know, at, like, real person ages, once you can theoretically have a child and have that child be adult age, you don't need to be alive anymore from a biological perspective. Because, like, the two things that every living organism exists to do is to, you know, like, survive and procreate, right? Because procreating is recreating. You're making a copy of yourself so that when your copy dies, that copy survives. It's like backing up a Minecraft world. By the way, I got a $5 tip from Semper Ubi. I missed it. I want to change... Oh, I'll play it again, actually. There we go. I want to change my name to Oliver, and then in a few years, change my surname to Sodden. Oliver Sodden. Oliver Sodden. All of a sudden, yay! I get it. It's a good joke. I enjoyed it a lot. My mother, that is dead right now, by the way, just some context, is how you should address her every time. It doesn't matter if they know she's passed or not. You know, I really do feel like it's a hard thing. It's crazy. Like one of the things that, like, literally, I don't know anyone who has parents that died when they're an adult. I know people who, like, lose them when they're young, lose them when, you know, you're 60. But, like, all of my family members have their parents. All of the people I know, like, have their parents. Even, like, it's like you have to get into, like, the step family or something like that. Polly East says these labels used to find me lately have been hurtful. Now you're saying I should be dead. No, I'm saying that you've outlived tens of millions of people. You're playing the Hunger Games and you're winning, Polly E. This is the most complimentary thing I've said in years. Congratulations on winning the Hunger Game for another year. Long may you live to see another one. I think what I'm most scared of is my teeth, both my parents. Oh yeah, but so I met my friend and he's going grey. He's the same age as me basically, like 2 weeks older. Chat. I lost my dad. He didn't die. He sucks. Yeah, I kind of like that as a. Also, ooh, that lead actually went into my hand. That was handy. You get it? Because it went into my hand. Yeah, I'm gonna try and build an island over there now using the Happy Cast, if only for fun. But yeah, like I literally don't know the graceful way to address things, and a lot of people like reserve. A lot of people would rather be more reserved, because you can never unsay something, but you can always say more. So by saying less, if you just mention in a story like, oh yeah, I did some silly high drinks, then now I haven't just said on the record that I think it's acceptable for 4-year-olds to moon strangers. Right? Yeah, I'm beginning to feel unwanted, sir. The opposite. I'm saying, see, that's what it is. I said a nice thing, but the real way that you show that you care about someone and that you want to see someone somewhere, right? The real way you show that is you have to be negative about it. Because you wouldn't be negative about someone you're actually negative about, because that feels rude. What's the phrase? A gentleman is never unknowingly rude. And so I think I have to be rude to you right now, Polly. I'll confirm first, because I'm going to be polite about my rudeness. But I think it would make you feel a lot better if I was rude first. Usually just my late insert dead person here. Yeah, I like YouTubers that were like 40 when I started watching them when I was like, 14, 15. They've all got their parents still. How do you keep all your parents? Yeah, it's crazy. Life expectancy is so up, chat. I've been pessimistically assuming. Also, my husband's 25 and has grey hairs. I call him old man all the time. Yeah, he's only a few weeks older. Damn, you both have the same birthday. Very lucky. So yeah, this isn't a project that's actually helped by doing it. I think really it's only going to be the ceiling. I think we're having this is going to be useful. True. If you didn't care, you wouldn't have an opinion. Yeah, I just be clear. I don't have negative opinions of you all, Polly. I think if I really try to draw one, I don't think I think I would have to pick something superfluous, right? But I think yeah, you know what are you doing here with your grey name? You know that everyone knows the regulars in the chat have the green names. Which, it did flip for a little bit. We had like a huge wave of gifted members at one point where like, oh yeah, green names didn't mean anything anymore. But it is kind of cool now that I think that like wave. I think every new YouTube feature has a wave of people using it like crazy. Like when we first started streaming regularly in like 2019, like more than once a week. When I first got into it, it was like, oh yeah, like someone would tip, like once every third stream, and it'd be like, oh, that's cool, money. And then there'd be a moment in like 2020, maybe a bit before 2022, where it'd be like, oh yeah, it is rare that I end a stream without like, like 10 separate tips, that are, all like, like $5 each. And we're like, wow, that's like I'm making like an income doing this. I swear 95% of the friends I've had in my life have had their parents break up, including me twice. Oh yeah, just to clarify there, Adorable Ho, I wonder if it's one of those things where like, oh yeah, it brings you together. Like, I feel like it's harder for me to relate to someone that has their parents that love each other. It's like, oh, so you had a healthy home life where there was balance and like, you were. I feel like there's a lot of things that fall apart if you have one parent working and also caring for you, right? Because it means fundamentally there are going to be some hours where, like they have no control over you because they're sleeping or working, and that they probably are meant to have control over you for. That was insane. I got so many free memberships from Darren. I like the members content. So yeah, the also I'm glad that you've I'm glad you remember Jenny Nobody. But so there was a wild wave of people being like, oh, super chats are a thing. I'll use this. And then memberships became a thing, and we got up to like 100 or 200 members so quickly. I was like really pleased with it, if I'm being honest. And lots of people were like, oh yeah, you should have like a member counter or something like that. And I was like, I don't know about that. Like it used to be like the done thing. Like everyone needs to have a sub goal because people want to boost that number by a little bit. Like again, like I said, it was just the thing. Everyone had to do it. But yeah, in primary school, like 8 of my classmates had dead dads. Oh, where did you go to school so I can avoid going there if I have children? Bingo lingo. You gotta give me that tip. Can't believe you Polly into memory. I'm sorry, Polly. I need to make that up now. Ashamed, fixed. It is good to see you though, Polly. I know that when you say this, like okay, you know, actually, can I go really socially inappropriate on everyone and say, like, when it comes to like in the real world too, we often try to say there's friends and then there's acquaintances, then there's not. I think it kind of works like you have like tier 1 friends and tier 2 friends. And then you've got acquaintances, and then you've got people you know, and then you've got enemies like that Minecraft guy who I don't know if he still hates me, but he doesn't follow me anywhere, and I'm very cautious of using his product even though it's good. Okay, so let me mention how it works. I think that like there are people that you would call friends that you wouldn't be able to invite to go, you know, what? Let me give a personal example. I got once for a birthday from my estranged father. It was a gift card to go paintballing. They got it via some cashback website, so they could get a bunch of, you know, like I have my issues of why they gave me paintballing as a gift. But I got paintballing as a gift once, right? It's really cheap when you use these vouchers, because it's like, yeah, you've got 3 months to use this voucher, go paintballing, and so I was like, okay, I'll pick a day with some friends. This one seems good. And I'll invite all the people I consider to be a friend into this chat. I think all of these people would have probably also said I'm their friend. But, you know, like, a guy invites you to go paintballing. You could, you know, say like, oh no, yeah, I'm busy that day. But even that's kind of awkward, so you just don't say anything. If no one else is saying anything, if no one else has made an excuse about why they're not going, you don't need to. And so that paintball story, I'm going to tell 1,000,000 times. Because I'm still bitter about it and will be to the day I die. Don't ever give someone paintballing as a gift. It's a bad gift. I think any gift that requires organization, unless you know someone loves organization, bad gift. Money is a good gift. I know you don't get cash back on money, and like you have to pay a bit more. But the reason that it's so cheap to go paintballing as a gift is because they know like 33% of people will just never redeem it. Because if you get something random as a gift, you have to smile and say that's great and pretend you're going to use it even if you don't. Anyway, so I think we have tier 1, tier 2 friends. Even if we just want to say that we have some friends that are really more acquaintances and some acquaintances that are really more friends, however you want to say it. I think there's a bunch of people here in chat that to avoid calling parasocial friends, because that's a little bit of a misnomer. I've been looking for a bed this whole story, but I've been so into my story I've not found one, chat. Okay, so let's go over here. There'll be a bed somewhere nearby, right? Do I not keep beds anywhere? This is why I need that bed in my inventory, chat. Do you see how much my life has been ruined by taking that bed away? This is why I need the bed. I'm gonna go put my nev-rack away. So, guess what you're getting for your birthday? I think now, I would say it to someone's face, like, no, I don't accept your gift. I know I'm being ungrateful, but you've gifted me a small amount. You know, what does paintballing cost? Like £19. You've gifted me £19 and then an administration exercise, and I value my time at more than £19 for, you know, 3 hours plus travel plus. It's like, no, you have not gifted me something. You have given me a chore. It might be a chore you like to do, But one of my favorite chores is spending hours working on a survival project block by block. I love spending 30 hours on this. But if I gave you a gift and said, hey, guess what? You can you can go mining in my nether and get me 1 million netherrack blocks. I think you should tell me to F off. I think you should be less polite than that even. Anyway, so I think we have tier 1, tier 2 friends. I think there are some people who I'm like, oh, it's cool to see. But I think, I mention this a lot, but like people who feel like they're, even, like on my side is a weird thing, but I think we've all experienced like people who are disloyal in this life, and you don't need to be loyal to a YouTuber you watch, but when people are like, oh yeah, I like your stuff, I like you, that's cool. Those are the people I want to be around, right? And the reason I mention that is because Polly, genuinely, you're one of the names where I see it, same with you, Pout, even though you don't have a green name, let me level. I'm like, oh yeah, you're rarely leaving a wildly negative comment here. There would be some people. Actually, wait, are you in the chat? I'll name one now because he is a long-term viewer. I don't fear alienating him bad enough to leave. I've got someone called E. I think it's E. I'm sorry if it's not you, E, but I'm pretty sure if it's not you, it's someone who has a white profile picture like you, E, who just shows up, and sometimes they make a nice comment, and sometimes they're not trolling, but they're looking for a negative response out of me. And it's like, oh yeah, you're free to do whatever you want, but it's like those people. It's like, oh, it's nice that I have them. Yeah, like they're the outer ring of my friends, the people who would go paintballing if we were at the event together already, and something they wanted to do was there too. But like, they're not going to respond to a "will you go paintballing me" invite because it'd be a bit awkward. That's how I feel about it. So yeah, Alex Harrison, good to see you. Captain River, Bearded Man, how are you doing? My dad was murdered when I was 6. My mom's still alive. She's 71. That's a 65-year age difference for anyone doing the maths wrong. Yeah, so Cat, my ContraPoint for your own good. I of course welcome your ContraPoint as well. Says Captain River. I think like you don't want purely positive feedback, right? But you want people to seem like they are doing things with love, to seem like they are sharing things because they care, and not because they, which is like a hard thing to do, right? It's a really hard thing to nail the difference between I care and so here is some important feedback, and I'm giving this feedback to you specifically because I don't care. So I need to do something with these and make a big tower here soon. I don't know how I'm going to do that, to be honest with you. Chat, this is a problem. Some projects are like, this requires a lot of thought. I need to look at an end city. I need to do it again. And so you need to have projects like this in your world to be proud of and to like focus on sometimes. But I think today, I don't think this is a focus on a, big confusing project day. I don't think that's what this is. So I think we'll go find another nice, like, easy, but needs to get done project, because those are my favorite things to do while we chat. Can confirm Ad and Sony's the worst of the worst. I don't even know who Ad and Sony is. Is that like a video game manufacturer? Anyway, I make sure to subscribe to each of your channels. I value personality. The person make videos over anything else, and you have a great personality. Thank you very much. I think weirdly I've come to the conclusion, because AI, so chat, YouTube will make you AI thumbnails now. You might have heard about Mr. Beast's tool. I don't know which one came out first, but either in response to that or Mr. Beast's tool came out in response to this, YouTube will make you AI thumbnails now. Do you want me to show you what an AI... Okay, so I made this thumbnail, or my girlfriend made this thumbnail. But this thumbnail for today's video was made by a human being under the directions that I provided. And so, can you see the thumbnail right now? If you can't, I'll put it on screen for you right here. So this is the thumbnail of today's video, chat. I'm gonna have to remember to remove that later. Make sure someone reminds me if I leave it there. And now I'll type in surviving 7,000 days in my long-term world. And what's crazy is YouTube is going to create a thumbnail based on that. Theoretically, GPTs and whatever else have been able to do this forever. But this is something that now, I think for the first time, YouTube will do itself. And it's really, really bad at some things, Like, let me just show you the first thumbnail it gave me, chat. I need to show you this. So the very first thumbnail it gave me looks like this. I don't know. How does that represent 7,000 days? I literally do not know. You know, oh, I don't think I put in Minecraft into the, but then it will also give thumbnails like this one. So here is the thumbnail that it made, and you can see it's like it's got that weird AI problem. But every now and then it actually makes not a banger, but like a thumbnail that you know people would click on. Even like I think it does poorly with text, but like look at that for example. I think that's a pretty decent thumbnail. In fact, okay, can I see if I can just share this with you here? I have to be cautious. I guess I don't have to be cautious showing analytics anymore. Let me show you, chat. So let me just delete all of these. Delete. Delete. And this is today's thumbnail. Okay, so let me show you. I have to be cautious about this. Let me show you what it looks like, if I can. So this is the... I don't know why I'm not here, chat. Here's me. Look, it's a me. And so, yeah, if we look through here, you can see, like, okay, if we actually ignore the ideas and just say, like, survival, something more generic. Although if I put in survival, it's going to be real-world survival, isn't it? It's not going to understand that it's Minecraft survival. Or will it? It does. Oh, so it's context-dependent, and it knows what things my viewers would like and which ones my viewers wouldn't. My viewers wouldn't like to see survival tips from experts on how to survive a nuclear winter, but they would like to see... Wait, real quick. We have to go back to Minecraft, just make sure we're safe. Okay, looks like we are safe. That is good to know. I'm going to pop out my chat over here, just so I can actually see it while I'm doing what I'm doing here. Okay, so let's put this, but like down here. I often find myself disagreeing with Toycat's opinions, but that doesn't discourage me. I hope that people disagree with me, just on the level of like, I think hopefully some people learn some things. But also, I think it's understandable to be like, yeah, you can learn things and also disagree with the source. If you don't think you can do that, then you're not really learning, in my opinion. Okay, so if we type in like making, oh my god, chat. I have again something about like you don't realize that talking for hours is a lot of work until it hurts to like move your mouth. Oh, I just had like a real weird. I had a type of pain I've never experienced before. I'm just gonna power through it. Okay, so sorry to inconvenience you with my pain real quick. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure I am safe here. The sun has probably a few minutes left, so I'll just leave myself staring at it. I can't pause because it's around. Okay, so if we type in like update, or let's type in like update 1.22, for example, what it's gonna do is it's gonna suggest video topics about that update. Minecraft 1.22, the hidden details. That doesn't make any sense because the update's not out. So we could type in like chase the skies and hope. Oh man, these are bad thumbnails. Chat, I swear to God, it actually gave good thumbnails. It's giving terrible ones right now. These are some of the worst thumbnails I've seen. The science of flight, how to fly in Minecraft. Okay, so that's not a terrible thumbnail. This is a terrible thumbnail. This is a terrible thumbnail. This is beyond terrible. But that's, if we click on the video, it does something crazier. So as well as giving me a thumbnail, it gave me 6 different thumbnails, and I can actually change these if I want to. So I think this thumbnail is really close to being good. It needs to look a bit more Minecrafty. But like this thumbnail, oh god, Steve's got an extra arm for some reason. And like, okay, this thumbnail, no, these are all bad thumbnails. I swear to God, chat, I got one, but as well as giving me the title, The Science of Flight, How to Fly in Minecraft, which I just realized is dumb, that's not what Chase the Sky means, it will give me the outline for the video, the hooks. Ever wondered how Minecraft pros stay airborne so long? This video breaks down the science behind flight in Minecraft, revealing the secrets to mastering the skies from gravity to elytra. I don't understand what that really means. AI performance anxiety. That's what it is. Maybe if we go back, we can just like, can I just say, explore these suggestions? There's got to be a better way to do this. So I could really go to shorts and then come back to inspiration, and maybe it'll forget about my old idea. So we'll go to shorts. That's my most recent short. Hightail is cancelled. RIP. There we go. Okay, so these Minecraft's vibrancy. What's happened to my Xbox? What's happened to my Xbox chat? It looks really demented. Yeah. Okay. So just to clarify, absolutely nothing here is worthwhile. There's Minecraft Conskyle minigames. Constantly minigames. Can it be done? These I've never. I am shocked. Minecraft console is known for its limitations, but can you still create fun minigames? We put it to the test. That is not how Minecraft console minigames. So we've got Minecraft Chase the Skies update. We were wrong again. This one, so you could believe this. I think this looks like an AI thumbnail, but I think this would get more clicks than a thumbnail I would make. Maybe because it looks so bad, actually. Why does this guy have an axe coming out of his head? Every time I think a thumbnail is actually pretty good, I think I'm being proven wrong. But yeah, YouTube will make you AI thumbnails now. What happened to my Xbox? Okay, look at this one. Okay. I think that this would be a perfect realm review thumbnail. Can I put that in large? Helpful. So let's now take this thumbnail and say, add the text, vibrant visuals, realm review, and make it look like I'm you know, actually, I think any more than that I'm not going to be able to get good at right now. By the way, thank you for the tip. It just came in from Pearl Girl. My favorite video to rewatch is the genocide run. I love wait, I can't say I love genocide on the internet. Also, it looks like Where's Waldo. So yeah, chat, the thumbnail that I just complimented and said was good. Oh, okay. So okay, wait, let me. It didn't add the text vibrant visuals. Could you replace the character with a Minecraft ocelot? Okay, that's actually pretty good, right? There's something good in there. You can tell these are all based off SlopTuber thumbnails. Yeah, I think enough YouTubers like, so in the age of AI, my point was to say, oh my god, it's so bad at prompts. Focus on the castle. Focus on the castle again. That's not an ocelot. Where did the castle go? Why are these rings here? I'll ask nicely, please. Add "we were wrong" text. How did this go so wrong? I gave it a compliment, and then it's got real performance into anxiety. Okay, so that's a cool thumbnail, but why doesn't it? Okay, show "we were wrong." This is a cool as heck thumbnail, right? I think you would have to have a castle just as good in the video, and the sky would have to be believable, and the text would have to, you'd have to like disclose it was an AI thumbnail, I think, even if it's not. I mean, realistically, if you're a small YouTuber, you don't have to. I think you would just not. But I think, like, for the sake of ethics or whatever. But I think this is a real believable thumbnail for, especially if your audience, like, I don't think it'd work for my channel yet. But I think this is a controversial take I take. So someone just said they watch my streams even though they disagree with me. I think my take is, like, people say AI is bad for creators, and it's bad for some creators, right? So for example, if AI thumbnails really get good, which all technology gets better, will it get better fast enough for people to want to use? But the thing is, like, people say, no, this is really bad for thumbnail artists. But if you look up how much does a thumbnail artist cost, I think Google gives you the estimate of $500 to $300. Like, until you get to the point where you're getting consistently 5,000 views in a video and you are partnered, which is like top 0.1% of YouTubers, you can only pay the thumbnail artist by paying more than you make from a video. You have to make a loss in a video, and that's if you get the cheapest thumbnail artist that you physically can. You hire them on Fiverr, and, like, you know, realistically, like, that's gonna be tricky. They're not gonna be interested in your vision. They're gonna give it a little bit of time and move on. Like, I think that, like, small creatives will be able to do more. I think this is how tools have always worked, and that's, like, a controversial take because, like, you know, obviously, like, as Mr. Big Money YouTuber, obviously I'm just trying to scam my thumbnail artists. But, like, I think thumbnails are way less about art than people think. Like, $300 thumbnails. The big YouTube channels, I actually think, yeah, They need to have an art style. They need to match it consistently. But I think, like, most YouTubers, again, I don't know where I fit on this spectrum, but I think especially if you're getting, like, 1,000 views a video, the art in your thumbnail is reason number 800 why people watch you. I guarantee you that's true. I wonder what kind of video... Also, the guy charging for $5 on Fiverr uses AI. Yeah, that's the funny thing, right? Like, we're stealing the guy on Fiverr's job by making it too easy to use AI. But there are some thumbnail artists, especially if they live in, like, developing countries, who might charge $5, who have lost that ability. But I think, realistically, the use of AI allows those people who are actually good at things to scale up what they can charge for what they do. Because if you need something good, you'll always need a human. It's the same reason why you could be watching an AI stream right now, but you're probably watching this one. I'm saying watching, maybe a bit too firmly. Let's go to the Nether, by the way. I kind of want to work on that big hole there. But we'll go to the Nether for now. Thumbnails are about psychology. I'll make them for free. They'll absolutely be terrible, but I can't be beaten on price. we should do a fun test for Realm Review. I don't think I'm gonna get a good AI thumbnail, but if we did, cat, we'll do like. I like the idea because YouTube has A/B testing of like testing one versus the other. If we're physically capable of doing it, why shouldn't we take pride in the fact that we can? But do you see what I mean? Like, at some point, someone would have said using a digital tool takes away the physical artistry, and there's a real drain that it does. I know, just to clarify here, I know that I don't have a popular opinion. I'm not sharing this because I'm trying to have people like me and agree with me. I'm saying the way that I see the world is that usually the more power we add to the people... Again, if you give AI tools exclusively to executives and exclusively to the heads of big companies, yeah, that's awful. You're just cutting out all these middle person jobs. If you give AI to small creatives who literally either can't or won't hire a team, I think it's an underrated thing. But like, you know how I just mentioned, like, it's really hard to like, it's really hard when you're like, you don't have a lot of resources to work out what to do. It's really hard to like work with people for a decent majority. That's one of the reasons why like traditional jobs suck and why a lot of people choose freelance work. And so if you can do more as one person in a freelance job, that is a better thing for you. It's a better thing for the people you work with because they can focus on more higher quality things. You know, it's like, I think there's I'm going to make my reverse argument. If we take the most simplistic version of what I'm saying, the most positive version of what I'm saying, it'd probably be like the Hoover, the vacuum cleaner, if you want to be international about it. So the Hoover is a relatively recent concept, and it makes sweeping so much easier. If you've ever used a Hoover, it takes like a minute to do what would take like 10 minutes before. I think a laundry machine is the craziest one, like a washing machine, or especially a washing machine dryer combination. You can clean your clothes, a task that would take up half of one of the days of your week. You can do it in 30 minutes, maybe. That's being exaggerative. I would say most of that time is waiting. But you can, like, you spend 5 minutes getting your clothes into a big drum. You spend 30 seconds moving it from one drum to another, and then another 5 minutes moving it back to where you want the clothes to be. A task that would take half a day takes 15 minutes. But that's automation, right? That's not AI. I don't have an AI washing machine yet. I would love to see what one would do. I think I have an AI microwave, chat. I'm not sure. Obviously, right? It's goes without saying that is a positive improvement. But I would actually make the point that there are lots of times that we improve our life and make them worse. Like, there are lots of productivity gains that we get and we don't really take full advantage of. Like, I think a classic example is if you live in a big city, you probably eat out quite a lot. I'm such a big advocate for this being, like, a way, you know, like, not like a bad thing, being something you can... I think being proud of is the wrong word, but I'm a big advocate for the idea that eating out is actually just fine. If you live in a big city, maybe even encouraged. So this goes 1, 1, 1, 2. This goes like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3. So I need to fix that at some point. And I'll just start fixing it over here, I guess. So where the threes are, this needs to be the top of that, and this needs to be the start of the 2. So let's just run along this, placing some Nevrac, and placing some more over here. Great, let's do it. But yeah, so chat, I think that, like, I'm a big believer in the idea of like, yeah, if you live in a city and food is really cheap, in New York it's like $1 for a slice of pizza sometimes. But even like really good pizza, because $1 slices are rare to find nowadays. But like you can get good pizza for like $4 a slice. That will fuel you for the evening. Your time is probably worth more than $4. It's a good move to make. The same is true if you really love a noodle dish from the Chinese place. Then yeah, the Chinese food is like a good investment of your time. Or a good investment of your money. But actually, I think there are times where we make productivity improvements that make our life worse. And so I do fear that we can add AI to our lives. I think a great example of this would be maybe schools. Like people add AI to their lives there, and they're doing the tasks people are asking of them way better than they ever had before. Like when a teacher says, give me a 19-page essay on the French Revolution, do you have any idea how stressed that used to make me? I mentioned before the thing that changed my life was in my last year of doing my computing course, I got one of my tasks was to write a 40-page document on something I'm passionate about, just to check my writing skills. And basically it was just it wasn't pass-fail, but it was basically pass-fail. It was like, as long as you include pictures and images, and as long as it's coherent and readable, you would get a pass on this. And so I was writing like pages about, I don't know, like Minecraft or whatever it was. And then someone like pointed out to me like, oh yeah, you could just use all your other work and argue you're passionate about computers, which of course you are. You're taking a course on computers. And it saved me like dozens of hours of work. But like the point wasn't to hand in the work, it was to do the work. It's $9 a slice to eat at Pizza Planet in Disneyland. Okay, if you live in Disneyland, you should make your own pizza. So ChatGPT made a cartoon Toycat thumbnail, and it actually looks pretty good. ChatGPT can't make thumbnails. This is the most insane fact about it. ChatGPT can only make square images, or like weird rectangle images. I looked into it once because I was curious how there are so many AI thumbnails on YouTube, and I was like, well, I should know, right? I would hate to be putting all this psychological work into a thumbnail if AI could solve me that pain. But like, there's a lot of things where like, you know, you think of it as being work, but you forget that the process being hard is part of the joy. Like, I think Minecraft is the classic example. Again, I'm gonna keep arguing against myself here because I think it's more fun than arguing for myself. I think I have a position that's probably right, but also therefore, let me confuse you even more, chat. I think I'm right, but I also am scared if I'm right? I think that Minecraft is a classic example of how putting time into something, I could have this tunnel be done in 5 minutes if I just wrote the right program or jumped into creative. But the fact that I have to manually mine every block, like it sucks right now, I'm just doing this for the sake of sculpting, but I'll appreciate it more in the future. Like I was saying earlier, looking at some projects, I value some more than others based on the amount of time that I put into them. And that seems kind of crazy, but actually isn't really. Can we do a poll on simple MS Paint thumbnails versus AI thumbnails? So, Pout, what I would like to see though, if again, I'm not like, I'm not coming out and defending AI in the sense that I don't think it's a good improvement, but I think it's one of those improvements where like, if everyone else does it, you kind of have to as well. In the same way that like I might love, you know, what's a good example? I might love making, I used to love recording every single piece of background gameplay as an example. But like, you know, sometimes it's like, well, you know, this video needs 40 minutes of it. And it's kind of just that, like, I've got a face cam on screen and like it needs to just, it doesn't need to be something specific to me. And so rather than wasting my own 40 minutes, I'll ask whoever's editing the video, you know, like as part of the, you know, like as part of the payment for it, like, oh yeah, could you record this footage that makes sense? I'm effectively using a human as an AI prompt generator at that point, right? Being like, oh yeah, could you get image of mangrove swamp being flown through an F1 for 40 minutes or whatever I'll ask for? Yeah, and like, I could not do that, but then I'll lose 40 minutes of my time, and whoever makes the video essay where they don't do it themselves has just got 40 minutes of the... I would argue, like, everything humans do has a slight nature of competitiveness to it. It's the nature of capitalism. It's one of the reasons people don't like it, I would argue. But it is something you just have to accept is in basically every facet of life. And if we accept it's in every facet of life, then we have to therefore work out what we want to do about that. I've always argued title is more important than thumbnail. So Chase Jimmy, I think it's title and thumbnail combo. I think title used to be more important than thumbnail, but now people watch on their phones or TVs, where the thumbnail is this big and the title is this big. And it's like, this is still really important. I'm not going to care about this without this, but you know how it is. By the way, I'm going to quickly check up on the video, see how it's going. We got any update? Is it going well? Yeah, let me just make sure all is good. Yeah, oh wait, first time I've been called an AI. Oh, Ash. Someone said Ash, nice member video, and I was like, oh, that's a reminder. I've got to message Ash. I didn't realize you were in the chat. Hello, Ash. You are, you know, I feel like ultimately, right, if I gave you that task as an equivalent of, you know, but wouldn't you then be happy if you could be like, oh yeah, of course, AI can literally do this better than I can do it. Because there are some tasks that you will always do better than AI. So Ash is one of the video editors here on the channel. I think video editing is something that's like years away from being possible in a way that people can even pretend is good. And it's a long way away from ever making good videos. Because, you know, editing is ultimately about storytelling. And storytelling is one of the things human beings are best at. This is like a, you know, like almost like a take the red pill moment. But everything is storytelling, chat. Everything is storytelling. You might think, no, like history is not storytelling. It's like, yeah, the best stories survive and the worst ones don't. So there's only 4 blocks there, right? But after 5 blocks up, it then goes 2, 2, and then 1, 1, 1. So let's go check if that's how it looks over here. 5 blocks up. And then, is this definitely 5? It has to be 5, right? I wouldn't place fewer than 5 blocks. And now we have 2 blocks go inwards after this. So I'm going to now start digging downwards from these blocks after making sure that they do in fact stay standard. I'm very scared of these gas noises I'm hearing. It's a good reminder to eat some steak. But yeah, I promised I'm here because I'm done, not because I'm slacking. Oh, that's good news. So the thing that I got panicked and messaged you about was actually the fact that I was reminded to do that was the sign that the thing was entirely fine, which is what I like to be able to hear. Okay, so now the blocks back here, we're gonna build into. Oh no, it goes back up above now. Oh, that really complicates things, chat. So we're gonna remove this block and then remove these blocks. But any blocks that go to the right of these ones need to stay there because they're gonna represent the inner part of this next thing. So it's gonna be like 2 blocks there and then like 2 blocks here. And then we'll obviously remove these blocks later. And so if we're removing these blocks later, we should actually do them on the inside here. Because now these can make up the tops of some towers. Yeah, we'll remove... Okay. So here's what we're going to do, right? We place a bunch of blocks sideways like this. And then we come in, and we place the 2 blocks down here. And then we remove the top block. And easy peasy. Just like that. Yeah, this is actually... It's actually a bit of a nightmare to place blocks onto nothingness. Something that is very important for me to think about, but that I shan't be thinking about anyway. So now we remove these blocks, but now I've got 2 in the position ready to go. And then we'll place 2 blocks here, and then we'll also have... Oh no, these aren't meant to be here. We're now 2 blocks above the rest of it, which is quite confusing. Okay, let's keep digging, because I need this netherrack, and I need this tunnel to be good. Google AI on Minecraft mechanics. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, AI video is getting pretty good. AI's writing style is pretty easy to pick up on. So you say that, Adorable Ho. I think it's if you care. So, can I make a really bold stance here? Everyone's been talking about the issue of AI usage for writing essays in schools. I think it's like you know, for a lot of people, it's like, you know, they're using it as a sign that like, oh, and this generation are just so lazy, they can't even write their own essays anymore. You know, a lot of people very very doomsayer about it, I guess we could say. Okay, so we're going to place these blocks here. And then we're going to remove these blocks as we place these on top. Just to make sure what's happening here is clear. And, yes, slowly but surely we're going to build... It's going to be wonderful, but we're going to build a full tunnel that will actually cover all of this here. It's going to take a real nightmare to build, but once we've built the outside edge, we can then destroy the inside, which is nice. There's a lot of ghasts. Ghasts have to die. Yeah, let's just go after it. I think there's too much of a risk in my tunnel to let ghasts survive. And the ghasts existing is part of why the tunnel needs to exist in the first place. Side note, that should be another Tears disc, right? Do they get it? Oh, there it is. What do I do with all these discs? I better work that out. You know what I hate the absolute most? The freaking AI voice used in scam ads. It's the same voice, so when I immediately hear it, I think scam. Yeah, okay. Let me really focus for a moment here. So, people think that AI is a sign of children now being lazy. I think what it is, because anyone can pick up on AI writing. If you care about what you're reading, you can tell if a human wrote it or not. In my opinion, at some point it will get to the point where that's not true, and then you know. But for now, I think it's very obvious to tell. You know, you can always tell whether it's a human or not. But that's if you care about what you're reading. And the truth that I think a lot of people aren't willing to admit is, like, when you're a teacher, you don't get students to submit essays because you care about what they're going to say, especially not in, you know, middle, high school, whatever. You get people to write essays so they'll learn skills, and we've just assumed that it didn't matter as long as it didn't, like, go into, as long as it wasn't clearly from Wikipedia, like, well, they probably cared, right? They put in the efforts to learn about what they were doing, at least enough to give me this thing. Good job. Oh god. Hold on, why is the gas texture when it's eyes and mouth the old texture? I'm glad that someone else noticed. It's very jarring for me too. Oh, why are we getting so badly destroyed by this gas? No! Yeah, the gas just aren't, my fireball deflection just isn't working. Yeah, what's wrong? Why is it there? Making sure we get some of this too. Remove a whole bunch of this in the middle here. I think it clearly doesn't need to exist anymore. And I'll make this whole thing open up just a little bit nicer. Very, very, very nice, I think. We're on day 6996. It's a palindrome, a number palindrome. But yeah, Polly's one of the names I love to see here. I want to be clear, I'm saying that under no duress. You know, technically speaking, when someone's given a membership, or Semper Ubi Sub Ubi says, I can't wait for AI to go back and demonetize Sarah Connor. I technically am meant to say, haha, very funny, but I'm very clear if I'm like, I don't like your joke, I don't. But I've watched enough of the Terminator movies to be like, it's a respectable franchise, that's a good reference. Have you tried having AI put you out? I don't want to put myself out to AI. You know, I would prefer to pay it in water or money, preferably not, you know, my body, but maybe I should give that a shot. I blame Realms for the never being so awful for gas. Oh yeah, we could blame Realms. I'll blame, you know, I like that as an opportunity. Oh, people making items by hand AI ads are so funny to me. Yeah, I think there's a level of critical thinking that you get when you consume enough of a field. And so if you want to have the easiest audience to scam, you just find people that aren't like that. It's like the Nigerian print scam. If you hear the Nigerian print scam, most sane people would, like, run it by someone they care about, and that person's gonna be like, no. There aren't Nigerian princes that need your money to get their money. That's not how any of that works for anyone. So you need to get people who hear it and are so desperate that they want to believe it's true. I think this is the interesting thing about the world. There are truths, there are things that are, like, you know, universally known to be true. But there are times where we don't want to believe those things, because to believe them would come into conflict with all of the other things that we think. Chantal AI reveal. I did all my schooling before AI, and my academic writing style looks like AI. Did you write that comment with AI? I think you did. I'm going to throw that comment into ChatGPT and see what it thinks. I would like it if, because obviously there's a lot of AI models, this can't easily be done. One of the things I think AI would be best at is if detecting something is real or AI. It's the same way that a lot of people, you know, can I make a bold comparison here? People have been saying forever that, like, oh yeah, we don't like when we make an advancement that makes things easier, a lot of people resist that advancement. And genuinely, sometimes they're really right. Like, you know, like, there are all sorts of things. Like, maybe a good example would be, like, AAA video games. We worked out that if you get 250 people to make a video game, you can make a way better game. Or, like, a way bigger game than if one person or 10 people make it. But, as we've seen from Hytale, you can also end up spending so much money. Chat, I think I'm the only one to... So I did some... I spent this morning, one of the reasons I liked it so much, is I spent 3 hours locked into researching and recording a video about the Hytale situation. And I discovered while in there, like, you know, like, how much did they really lose? And I am floored. My jaw is on the floor. I actively don't understand it. But also, I got 26 notifications. My microphone is unmuted but have no signal. Chat, have you been able to hear me this whole time? Have you just been being nice about it? Has it been an AI voice? But yeah, so I think in an era of AI, putting together coherent content is more important than ever. Because if you're just putting together slop, might as well be AI slop. And so I don't know. It's something I've been thinking about more and more. Like it probably already made sense. Ever since YouTube went mainstream, unless you pick a hyper-specific niche, like if you work at the car wash, maybe you don't need to, you know, I don't know. Like there are some niches I'm sure where like you can put out any video and the car wash people are gonna be like, yeah. But even then, if you're specific to the car wash niche of YouTube, I think that you can find people who are outside the car washing niche if you make good enough videos. So even then, it's like you don't want to make bad videos. You want to make the best videos you possibly can. I think that's been true on YouTube for a while. I think there's an argument that there was a little period in like 2011, 2012, maybe, that it was better to put out more videos than to put out better quality videos. But the moment YouTube limited you to like 2 notifications a day or 2 subscription box pushes a day, every change they've made since then has been favoring quality over quantity. You know, rightly so, I think many people would say. I think it's I think also we can hear you. Toycat is secretly Ethos Lab. Is he the Canadian guy that has the same microphone from 2011 that avoids his taxes? Taxes are one of my interests. I could never make a channel from it, chat. I wish I could, but I bet the sorts of people who would watch a tax video aren't the sort of people who would like, favorite, and subscribe, you know? I find taxes fascinating. Like, taxes are literally the infrastructure we use to fund the world around us. We arbitrarily decide that if you are buying, you know, we arbitrarily decide that if you are buying food and it's ready to eat, you should pay a 20% tax. But if the food isn't ready to eat, you should pay no tax. We arbitrarily decide that if you're buying clothes, tax. Children's clothes, no tax. You know, adolescents' clothes, tax. Children's food, well, if it's ready to eat, then tax, obviously. Like, we pick so many categories. We decide that if you're buying a house, you should pay a 5% tax. But if you're buying a car, you should pay a yearly tax, for example. And also, like, every time you fill it up. But we don't charge you every time you walk into your front door, but we do every time you drive a petrol or electric vehicle. There's so many weird ways that we build the world around us, that we've made decisions about fairness. I think tax is so cool. But also, I know I am the only person in the world that has that view, that isn't an accountant, age 45, called Barbara. And even then, I think if you really asked her, she'd say, nah, I'd much rather be, I don't know, working on painting right now. My real desire was making thumbnails, but after AI took over, I had to become an accountant instead. That's what Barbara's saying, and I feel terrible for her. It's all my fault. I should have gotten more. I've got a shulker box. I'm gonna go fill it with Nebrak. Etho is a Monument of Face MC, so are you, Toycat. Thank you. I have considered recently. It's been like on my mind particularly recently as I'm like trying to clear out. I think every time I come back from a trip, I come back actually refreshed, less stressed about day to day, and more like able to plan for the future a bit. I think one of the things I'm meant to do is collab, just for the sake of like, I think it's better if, you know, especially in an era where your personality matters, knowing that people know you and that you are real and not a bot is probably important. But yeah, doing those is like actually a challenge because you need to come up with a good idea for it. So yeah, it's one of those things that's been on my mind, chat, in case you're curious. If you're not curious, then, you know, hope you're having a good live stream anyway. Welcome to the Let's Play. We're on day 6997. You hear about that, chat? We're about to hit day 7,000. It's exciting. How many times have you hit day 7,000 in your survival worlds, chat? I would wager it's probably not that many. But yeah, we now have another shulker box sort of filled with Bedrock. And we also have made a nice bit of progress on the tunnel there. Yeah, I would say a really nice bit of progress. Once we build the top roof for a bit more, I think we could like decide ways out from it or whatever. But it'll be really, really, really good. I remember the Korean video, haha. Yeah, that was my idea. I was like, I think it was probably a bad idea. Actually, you know, I think that video got like 500,000 views. Not a bad idea, clearly. That's what you have to do with like everyone you want to collab with. I think it's polite at least if you're asking. It's like, you know, if you invite someone over to your house, you have to cook them dinner. You can't ask them to cook you dinner at your house. I have to be like, hey. But also I think it's polite not to, you know, it's ideal not to message YouTubers who you are going to gain too much from. You have to be nice and offer the YouTubers who might gain as much from you as you would from them. Oh no, 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 no! Oh, okay, I don't see it broken, so it's probably not broken. Glad you asked. I hit 7,000 days 0 times. I should get back to my survival world, huh? You should. I reckon you're not that far off now. The only way to be really sure that no is to go. But yeah, I think it's really easy to convince myself, like, oh yeah, this video that's gonna take 8 hours, 18 hours, you know, actually let's just say 8 even. 8 hours is like a full work day, 9 to 5, right? And then like, you know, come up with a title, come up with a thumbnail, make sure it all works, find a spot to fit it. Like, spend just a full day, nothing else, one video, and it's like, that is the best use of a day if you want to upload daily, is to spend all the time on the video. But then there's like all these other little tasks that are actually really important. Like, I mentioned this before, but like the, as channels mature, you know, like fewer and fewer new people ever are gonna find them. And so it's like more important than like, also I need to find a place to hide this disc if we're gonna put out a copy of the world to download. You think, therefore you are. I do think, and therefore I am. Good to see you still here, Polly E. I was expecting you not to be here, so my comment about how you were someone I was excited to see to mean something. Because if you're still here, I might be like, yeah, Polly E, top 1,000 chatter in the current stream. Also, I'd argue it's more rude to cook dinner to your guest if you're very bad at cooking. Yeah, I think actually the correct way is like delegate your resources correctly. I think if you're bad at cooking, just order takeaway food. Unless you live somewhere that doesn't have takeaway, in which case drive somewhere where there's a restaurant. If you live so far you can't drive to a restaurant, no one's coming to your house. There we go. I think we've just solved politeness. What should we put our minds to next, huh? So, yeah, let's put away our dirt block now. And, you know, I think if there's one way that we should round out these days. So I'm obviously going to go repair my pickaxe a little bit. I think, oh, it's raining. Do you think a skeleton horse spawned earlier? I bet one didn't. I've been invited over to my friend's house to cook more than once. You know what? That's a sign you're good at cooking or your friends are lazy. Either way, it's great. Also, lol, always here. I'm going to test you on that, Polly E. It's going to be hour 3 of a 4-hour super flat stream. And I'm going to be like, hey, Polly, what do you think about this one issue? And if you don't respond, you know, I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to be very hurt. Seriously though, chat, if you want to, I'm going to give, I'm I feel like when I get deep enough into a video, I can talk about things freely. Because the problem with the internet that people are just about mastering is that you're not always talking in a friendly space. When you talk to people you know, you can probably use like the most offensive words. You can use slurs. You can be rude to people. You know, rudeness is arguably a sign of respect when you're close enough. But if you're rude to and use a slur against your boss at work, probably not going to go well. Wait, no, Susan's dead. Current YouTube CEO. I can't do that. I'm scared. I don't trust algorithms not to share it with them. But you know, if I were to cool out, I know Satya Nadella. Technically, you know, now my second income source is from Microsoft, right, chat? You know, I call out the wrong guy at the top. Who's to say if those checks still keep getting made? But yeah, so I think the problem is that you don't necessarily realize that you are, you know, like talking amongst friends is different to talking amongst strangers, and it can be hard sometimes to work out when you've shifted from one to the other. I think that's the struggle that often befalls people. So we'll move that there, and then we'll grab like a few more stacks, and then we'll just slide them out there. Perfect. So let's put them all in here, and then that way my stuff is a bit more organized, which is nice. We could do a mass inventory organization, which would be kind of fitting, I think. Not inventory, but like there are some chests that have been needing to be organized for a while. Let's just go and organize them, chat. Let's just do it. I need to do this anyway, so why don't we do this anyway? Gravel. There's more gravel in here somewhere, I swear. There's the gravel. Put it away. I've got this big chest of stone that I've got to do something. Oh no, plenty of stone in this space in this chest. And then there's a shulker box filled with stone that actually, yeah, I think I could put this stone in this shulker box. So I'll put the 2 shulker boxes down. And then I'll go down here and I'll put my Nevrac one away. I definitely put away the wrong shulker box, or I just didn't put away any. Yeah, organization, stream chat. You know it, you love it, hopefully. You don't love it, well, you're here anyway. But yeah, I probably I also know Scoopsky Cat. I've been addicted to the old Let's Play videos, currently in the 80 range. They never looks nothing like it did. Yeah, the number of staggering changes that Minecraft have made kind of makes me appreciate that, like, in the future there's got to be some, and try not to be a, you know, crotchety old man about it. I'm probably going to end up being a crotchety old man about it, but I'm still going to try not to be, right? It's the least you can do in life. Okay, so now we'll grab this shulker box out. It's got stone in there, and mostly just stone. I think the more of these that I fill up to the brim, the better this chest is. So 22, 22, and then we'll grab the rest, and we'll just throw them in here. Chat, I'm in desperate need of a project that requires stone. I need a stone project so bad. I don't know what one is. They've not been forthcoming, but I would like it if they would be. I've got so much gravel, for being honest, too. Okay, now deep slate. That's an easy one, too, but we'll finish up this one first. Cobblestone, 11 in there, nice and easy. Gravel, 40 in there, also kind of easy. Sand, I just went through and cleared out some sand. I can move it across my world, technically, I guess. Yeah, I'm running out of space, actually. So should we go move it across the world? Let's go move some sand across the world. Let's just take a bunch of these stacks, move them with me. But that's not going to stop me from inventory organizationing. So let's take the regular deep slate, just to make sure this chest is entirely cobbled deep slate. Okay, and then let's move them over here. So there is a deep slate chest. I haven't labeled it because I think I'll remember it every time. And I'm starting to learn that that's not how that works. And this is where the weird blocks will go. Perfect. Perfect. Any other weird blocks? Oh my god, that's so many weird blocks. Okay, so I've got plenty of space in these chests for cobbled deep slate still, so I don't need to move it via an intermediary, I wouldn't say. Beth Altair, it's good to see you. Adult onset dairy intolerance is the feeling grown up. The feeling grown up no one asked for. It doesn't make any sense. I don't think it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I think okay, so video's uploading now. Good news, internet. Minecraft surprise update. There's a catch. Okay, so I put the sand in a random chest. You know what? Future Toy Cat would love me if I did that. Future Toy Cat loves being confused by current Toy Cat. It's one of his favorite pastimes. I know that because you know, I spend a lot of time talking to him and having relations with him. But yeah, I think is that correct? That sign looks so wrong. I don't know why it is, but it feels like something's a bit off. Is Dasher here? Oh, Dasher's always here. Hey Dasher, happy birthday! Also, by stone project, you mean this project that creates stone or uses stone? I need to use the stone. You're giving me the opposite, Balo. I don't want to mine every ore in my 360 world. Although that is a really cool idea. That's a really, really cool idea. But I'm not going to do it. It's the opposite of what I need right now. Okay, so we've now got a bunch of spare shulker boxes. They're starting to pile up in the hallway here, which is getting a little bit unsightly. So what I think we'll do, once we... What do I do with this one wither rose, chat? I guess I'd put it outside somewhere. Yeah, I'll put it in like a hard-to-reach spot so that no one goes for it. Like if I put it around this chest here, it'll be like a nice little addition, right? So we just put it there. That's nice, right? Yeah, that's real nice. But yeah, who holds the world record for most stone cutters? I need a lot of iron to make stone cutters. It'd be a fun like roof or something. Sell all the stone to stonemasons. Yeah, that is the kind of cool thing about your world. If you're not running your world as a forever world, and you know you're playing it for a year, and you don't need 10 shulker boxes full of stone, turning it into something else isn't actually a dumb move. I would argue it's actually quite intelligent. See, I need to move these somewhere, chat. I've got all the shulker boxes in the world, and I do not know where they go. I don't want it to clutter up my base, but if we put them in the designated clutter spot, I think it'll be just fine. So this is my designated shulker box clutter spot. As long as I don't lose them, it's a perfectly fine place to put them. So one there, and then one here. And what's that? I have a whole extra spare spot now. I can place the red one there. You know, I guess if I have a spare red shulker box, then why not? Hey, look at that. Isn't that a nice little addition to the world? I could probably, like, color them in a nicer way. Use all the stone to build a stone never city. Make a replica of the cave house of all the stone. It's funny that's not actually a very stone intense. I know you know this, but I feel like it's not that stone intense. I definitely like the idea of building a blob. I like build a giant cube that has a cave built into it. I feel like there's some way to use that idea. Like, build what looks like a cave that you've carved out a bunch of, but actually you just built the tunnel. Oh, that's a fun idea, yeah. Like, build a ludicrously sized tunnel that looks like it's a mountain range. You know, like, I guess I can show you an example of this. So the most basic example of this that I pulled off, it took a little bit longer than I'd like, but not, like, disastrously long for a Minecraft project. I think this area is a good example of it. If I covered this in stone, it would look like I hollowed out no, it wouldn't look like I hollowed out the huge area. You'd have to do something to make it clear this was a labor of love. Like, you'd make it really straight in places, or like perfectly geometric. But I built this here, chat, and obviously it doesn't look perfect because I haven't closed it off on this side. I think that's what I need to do. I need to, like, have this slowly come in and have a little, like, sneaky entrance in over here. But anyway, I think if you, like, make an entire stone cube and then carve out tunnels from it and then make the top of it look like a mountain, you look like you've done something crazy. Crazy random drop. I was literally in mid-game when an update happened. Wait, a new update just came out? One sec. Let's check. Feedback.minecraft.net. No new update unless you're playing the preview. Or unless it's not on there yet. Also, happy birthday, non-present Dasher. Yeah, Dasher said happy birthday to everyone here. Build a stone desert pyramid surrounded by stone desert wells. I think a manga cube is probably the best use of it. Just a silly size, large project. I think that's, like, actually the best thing I could do. I need to nudge my minecarts, by the way. I like that they keep freezing in the same place, by the way. It's really easy to access. Huge quality of life change from Realms on that one. Yeah, let's make some sticks. And then let's come in here. And let's trade some sticks. So I've got a lot of bamboo. I'll just take as many as I can get. And then we'll stick ourselves all the way through. And so we just trade with as many stick men as we can. I think some of these guys might have discounted sticks, but not this guy apparently. And then we use the emeralds that we get to buy from this guy. And then we can use those bottle of enchantings. Bottle. And that will heal my pickaxe even further. It actually didn't do very much. So let's go a little bit more industrial scale this time. So really max this one out. Also grab the sticks if I've got them here. Okay, one stick, great. I presume the reason she's not here is she has a really bad headache. No, I'm sorry for her. Yeah, I'm starting to like appreciate this idea of like intermittent pain. But also I'm starting to appreciate that it's intermittent pain. I'm like, every like 10 minutes I'm like, I have no idea how I've been streaming for the last X amount of time. You know what's funny? If you want to know something, chat. It was literally a comment on the last stream. There was just someone who was like, "Oh yeah, I look forward to the return to the 3-hour stream era." It was like it wasn't beggy. It wasn't like, if you don't stream for 3 hours, you've let us. You know, when people like try to psychologically manipulate you, I want to psychologically manipulate them by doing the exact opposite of what they want. Oh, I did too many. But okay, so throw these over there. And there we go. Nice. Also, if I'm going to go over there anyway, I should pick up some... Also, the Pie Man! Thank you! You know what's weird? Is I think I've had, like, 3 subscribers. Not the Pie Man. I had the Pie Train, and then the Pie Face. And now you're the Pie Man, gifting a member. I don't know if you're the same person. I would suspect you're not. But if you are, I want you to know that I know you've been subscribed for a very long time. And I'm curious about why you're changing your name. Or if it isn't the same person, I'd like you to know that there are people out there of your username, but I like you more than them because I've seen you more recently. But yeah, I don't always AFK my iron farm, but when I do, it's during Toycat streams. Do you know what's funny? Is if you AFK an iron farm, you're actually costing yourself real world money. It is the closest thing you can have to a microtransaction. I should do the maths on it. I should like measure the power consumption of my PC. That's a fun idea. How much does a watt meter cost? I can business expense this. So yeah, we're gonna bring some dripstone across the world. I don't need to have all of these bamboo on me, so I'll just as long as my minecarts are still going round, I can just drop them on the minecart track, and they'll be fine, right? Yeah, I'll put them on the track. Okay, do you think I can get them that far in? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's try that again. Oh no, a little too far. I have to make sure to pick that up later. But yeah, Bread and Cheese Man, where art thou? Oh, maybe Bread and Cheese Man has turned into the Pie Man. Also, the Pie Man says I'm also richer. You know, I hate to tell you, I don't know what 2 New Zealand dollars is. Actually, I do know. I have a couple of friends from New Zealand in London. I don't know if I meant to say who one of them is, but you know, actually, so this is an example of like, oh yeah, like someone I have met through YouTube that I would consider a friend. And I believe the last time we spoke, he was like, yeah, it's like 2.1 New Zealand dollars to the pound. So you gave me about 90p post-tax, you know, like 50p or whatever. So are you richer? I mean, I guess actually, I don't think either of the other pie people hit me. So I guess the fact that you've been able to prove $2 of wealth is $2 more than anything else. It's uncanny seeing IBX live cat instead of the VODs. Why do people use iron farms? What uses that much iron? Do people build with it? I've got to say my poppy farm that incidentally picks up the side ingredient has been actually quite useful. Specifically, okay, so I'll just bring too much of it with me, and then I'll store the rest there in a chest, and it will be real useful. There's stone in here too, Jesus. So I'll cross my world underground, just to be different and fun, I guess. But yeah, so I think if you need a lava farm, cauldron's useful. You want hoppers? super useful. Minecraft made one of the most useful items in the game require 5 iron. And so if you want to automate things, you have to first automate iron. I think Minecraft messed up, and it's far too late to put the genie back in the bottle. It's the same thing with trident killers. It tastes like cardamom. By the way, I've been making sure to get my vitamins in due to my current on-off ailment. Pygol is the richest. Oh yeah, no, Pygol, I'm sorry to say this. The Pie Man, there is someone called Pygol, which is funny, Pygirl, who is in fact richer. She pops in every now and then. I hate to tell you, but I did get more than 2 knees in. I think she's been a member for like 3 years, maybe. I don't know what that converts to in YouTube money. Isn't it wild, by the way, chat? Okay, you know, can I share an opinion? I want to know what you. No, I'm not going to. I'm just kidding. I'm going to share the opinion anyway. So, like, what's really interesting is YouTube Premium costs different amounts in different countries, and I think to me that ruins the like. I really like YouTube Premium. I think it's the best money I spend on YouTube. I know not everyone agrees with me on that. But you know, for those people, I'd say, you know, take me on about my AI take. I think I'd feel more comfortable than this one, because at least in the conversation of AI, I'm a neutral participant. But obviously, if we talk about YouTube money, like I am a biased judge on this one. But isn't it weird that YouTube Premium costs different amounts in different countries? Because like the point is meant to be that you skip the ads by paying the creators whose videos you watch. So really, if it costs different in different places, it just means they're deciding that they can get more money from, I don't know, pick a country, Australians than Nigerians. And something about that feels a bit weird to me. How many pie people do we have? Says Dalord of Pie. Oh, good to see you, Dalord of Pie. Why do we have so many pie people? Do I attract the pie people? You know, actually wait. I know how many pie people we have, based on the fact that you're here, Dalord of Pie. We got the Pie Man and we got Pie Girl, and then we've got like some fraction of another person based on my memory. I think that means we have 3.14 of you, if we're doing it precisely. I used to have Pie in my Xbox gamer tag, but it was an innuendo, so I changed it. It says Hannah Joys. Hannah Joys, now I'm trying to work out what the innuendo in your current name is. And also, I'd love to know what your old username was. Pie... It's hard for me to come up with it. The Great Pyramid of Toy Cat. Not actually a pyramid. Chat. I can't tell you how stressful it was when I worked out this wasn't a pyramid. I think I handled myself quite well, though. But yeah, it was kind of fun taking a trip underneath my world, wasn't it? It's one of the nice things about working in a world for long enough, is that starts to be a thing. It's 14 Canadian a month here, says Ryan-tastic. So yeah, I pay, I think it's $12.99 a month, so that's 25 Canadian a month here. I pay for a family plan, so I get 2 accounts. It won't let me add my second channel. I've got the dumbest issue. My second channel is registered to America for some reason. I don't understand. I don't know why, I don't know how, I just know I'm annoyed. So I can't add my YouTube Premium to that account, because premium families have to be in the same country, which I think is very not 2025 of them. You know, people are not defined by borders, YouTube. But in a world where people are defined by borders, I am defined by the border that I keep myself. So I'm not allowed to put myself in my own family. You know, it's absolutely terrible. What can I say? So I could start putting some extra dripstone down here, but I think I probably need it here too. Oh no, doing pretty good. Should I put some down and... Nah, we're fine. Okay, so now we're going to grab... Isn't it amazing watching lava fill itself? Now we're just going to put this dripstone in a chest over here, and I'm going to pray that I remember the dripstone is in here. No, I'm absolutely not going to. I need to make a new chest, and thankfully I keep those on me. Put a chest over, like, I don't know, here. Logically speaking, like right. You know, actually here, because then I'll look at it every time. And then the pointed dripstone can be in there. I'll even put a pointed dripstone above it, so I remember there's pointed dripstone in there. Look at that, Toy Cat. Yeah, I look at that, chat. You know, actually, look at that, Toy Cat. I'm impressed. I want to show myself. How is your second channel registered in America? I have theories, but I don't know for sure. I remember, so one of the weird things is when I was living in America for a bit, it was really, I didn't want to move things over, but there are some apps that are only on the US App Store. So DoorDash, Grubhub? No, DoorDash. Yeah, DoorDash, I think. Was only available on the US App Store. Postmates, no, that's the one. Do you remember Postmates, chat? If I can be a bit boomer with everyone for a second. I remember Postmates. Postmates was always giving me silly promotions. Like, it was spend $100, get $75 off. It was, I ordered like a feast from a steakhouse for like $25 plus delivery. It was ridiculous. I've had some of my favorite delivery food experiences are thanks to Postmates. But anyway, so to get Postmates, I'd have the US App Store. But I remember I switched my account and it didn't work, so I switched it back. But clearly somewhere in the settings it did switch. And so yeah, now I am American. Yes, it is me, your fellow American. I have come to tell you about great deals that can be found. I tried this one product, and suddenly I became rich. That's not how Americans sound. You know, it's American. It's how Americans sound in my country. And if you say that's not how they sound, that's very offensive of you. To claim you know me country better than I do. Oh, God, I don't know what I'm doing now. YouTube Premium feels like paying YouTube to avoid a problem they created. Yeah, okay, so I do take a different view because obviously as a YouTuber, I've always understood from the beginning the reason, like, YouTube works because they marketed themselves as free, and so they kind of shot themselves in the foot. Because if you market yourselves as free, people are going to expect free. But, like, actually, you pay with an ad. And so they're like, wouldn't it be more efficient for some people who hate ads to pay us directly? Because obviously some people were using ad blocks and stuff, because, like, you had to if you wanted to watch YouTube content and not have an ad. There was no other product. And so most of those people switched over from ad block to paying YouTube, because most people don't steal because they... Well, yeah, stealing is not the right word. Just be clear, you're not stealing on YouTube. If you're watching this video about ads, you're not stealing from me at all, because you haven't deprived anyone else of the content. Most of all me. I think that's the crucial difference between stealing and piracy. But what is also crucial, if we are doing the semantics dive, what's also crucial is the idea that, like, the whole payment method is meant to be ads. It's like it's your ticket to be on the site, and you're allowed to circumvent that because, you know, like, they'd rather have you on it than not. But I think it's only when people get indignant about it and say, like, I deserve to watch YouTube without ads. It's like, well, you don't deserve to have something for free, right? You can pay for something, or you can pay for it with your time. I don't think, and if you don't pay for it, like, no one has the right to stop you, maybe you could argue. But you don't have the right to do anything. I feel like it's like positive rights and negative rights, I guess. But that's obviously like me as a YouTuber. I feel I have you know, on like Twitch, I hate the ads. But, like, okay, I'll watch the ads because actually, I'm not sure if on Twitch it's true, but I at least when I used to be on it, it's like, well, I understand this is a part of how it's meant to work as a platform, and it does not work if I don't, you know, do my bit. It's like the shopping trolley thing. You don't have to take your shopping trolley back to the store. Like, someone else is going to do it later. Like, you don't make a change to the world. But if everyone does it, you make the world worse. I think it's like the same thing. I use an ad blocker that skips through the ads right when they start, so YouTubers still get paid. I don't think that works. Again, I don't care. It's like gonna be a tiny fraction for me. It's like, it's your aggregate effect on all the other YouTubers. But usually, YouTube only pays for ads that they can say have been served. And even if you could argue that they're still getting paid for you, if you don't see an advert, there is a maybe argument that the click-through rates go to... You know, it's like a second-order effect of everything, right? I'm not going to be making it right here. I'm not trying to... I don't mean to dive into this right here. Should we go back into AI? That was a nice discussion. The downside... Also, Hannah Joys, I didn't get to see your username. Did you share it in the chat? It used to be Peachy Cream Pie. That is a wild username. You love to see it. Or maybe the opposite. Anyway, chat, I've had a wonderful time today. If you've had a wonderful time today, as we've spoken about whatever's on my mind, as you know, controversial or useless as it may be, or realistically great because I have the correct opinions. I wouldn't be sharing my opinions if they weren't right, would I? If you disagree with me, it's because you're incorrect. There we go. Let's get some more controversy on that fire. But more seriously, I've had a really great time today, and I love this world in general because it's one that I can just jump in for comfort. And you've seen today that I've moved between 4 or 5 different projects, and I've had a really fun time playing all of them, and partially I've had a fun time talking with all of you. I think Minecraft is the perfect game for any level of attention, and today's been a nice, chill, relaxed day, and it's the first time I've streamed in a bit where even though I've been in pain, I felt surrounded by people that cared about me and that I cared about internet. So thank you for watching. That is day 7,000. We just hit a major milestone. Isn't that exciting? Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you probably Friday. I'm going to go watch 28 Years Later tomorrow. So I'm not going to be streaming. But yeah, I guess tomorrow might be a Hightail. The Hightail video has a good opportunity to go up. It was my backup plan if there was no update today. Also, the person said there was an update while they were playing. Did one come out? It did not. I want to see the update. I want to have Little Lava Chicken in my Minecraft. I'm excited for it. But yeah, go check out my video if you haven't already. Or do whatever you want. It'll even out anyway, eventually. And yeah, for the next realm review, I might do that test. I'll do a poll in the next chat to see if people want to see it, which one they think they'll like more, and then we can compare it to which one people actually do click more. I think that'd be interesting to see. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you'll enjoy it, and I'll see you tomorrow, day 7,000. Isn't that incredible? No, not tomorrow. I'll see you on Friday. Saturday. I'll see you in the... Oh, on Saturday, I'm doing something cool, chat. I'll tell you about it on Friday. I don't know how to end streams. Do I just have to cut myself? No, wait, I just left, but I remembered. I want to tell you, Super Flat can come back. I worked out a way, and it's definitely less messy than my world. Okay, that's my last